Bing boing 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 bing 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 boing. Boing bing bing boing bing bing boing bing bing boing bing boing bing boing 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 boing. I'm boing bing bing boing bing 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 boing. Welcome to the show. It is really cool in here. It is really fun when you play with the guys. It's not gay, swear it's not gay, yeah, it's not at all. Hey, introduce yourself, Leep.
Hi.
We're live.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Same. What's your favorite street in North Carolina?
I don't know. I'm gonna make one up. Wall Street.
Mine's Cox Road.
Nice.
And you know my favorite place to go eat there? IHOP.
I like IHOP over Waffle House because Waffle House is usually really dirty.
You know that at school they say it's IHOP on Cox Road. Do you like to go eat at IHOP on Cox Road, and then we would make that a joke?
Nah, I just like IHOP.
No, it's an actual place you can eat at, and it's still open.
It probably is.
Yeah, like there's a place in Gastonia called IHOP, and it's on Cox Road. So when you say you're gonna go to IHOP, and then where is it? It's on Cox Road. So IHOP on Cox Road. IHOP on Cox. Get it?
Yeah.
It's a funny meme. It's a Gastonia meme. IHOP on Cox. He does hop on Cox, doesn't he?
I don't know, probably.
Okay, I have to wait till part 150 to do a tour. You want to be here for part 150 when we do a tour?
Hells yeah, my guy. I would love to.
Okay, cool. That's what we got planned in the future. Yeah. So,
Awesome.
that's pretty sick. Yeah. I need to build a fucking house today. I need to build one of these shotgun houses.
No cap.
These aren't quite shotgun houses because they're not quite mill houses. So they're a bit newer. Okay, so we're gonna take the corner, like a pro. I'm gonna copy that shit, and then we're gonna slap it in, like it's I'm its boss. We're gonna slap it. We're gonna slap it so hard.
I'll be right back.
Oh, okay, bye. He'll be right back, guys, and I'm gonna keep talking because that's what we do. I'm waiting for the TP. I'm waiting for the TP. Come on, work. Shit.
It's a verified bro moment.
Dude, coffee is the best.
It really is.
I'm trying to TP to something and it's not working. Dude, what's that noise?
My lips. It sounds like an ape.
Those are my lips too.
Think of this as like a monkey screaming.
That's sucking asbestos with my lips. You ever sucked in asbestos?
No.
Let me tell you, it's a deadly time.
Probably is.
I'm trying to TP to this corner, but it won't fucking work. I did it. I did it. Yes. Go to the street view. It's another White House. Yay. Wait, I can copy and paste these. Yes, I can literally copy and paste these.
A pog moment.
This is a pogger moment.
Pog.
Well, I can't copy and paste it because not unless I do select poly, right?
I have no idea.
Might as well select poly. Ba ba booey ba ba booey ba ba booey ba boo ba 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 I don't think I copied that right. Let's just paste it right here. I'll just paste it. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have pasted it that close to the ground. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I didn't copy it right. Undo. Paste. Yep. Fuck. I think I'll just build it. Fuck it. I'll just build the house. I don't want to even paste it. That's just too much work to try to paste it. Skip it a beep. Skip it a beep bop with it scope out skip it a beep. I'm a Scott. Skip it bop, Scott on me blop, skip it up, skip it up, scoop, skip it up, skip it, skip that skip, skip it, skip.
This is an oinging moment.
This is a oinging going beam boy met. E-boy beam boy moment, right? So
I think so.
That's an oim beam boy moi met. Oi moi me moi me moi moment.
Like yes.
Like shit. Like what the fuck? Like I just didn't do my laundry for like 3 months, Scoops.
I like Scoop.
I'm like running out of underwear, Scoops. I'm like running out of fucking shirts.
Oh god.
I can't wear any shirts. Like, dude, autism speaks, dude, doesn't it? Like, am I right? Autism does speak. Sometimes.
They do. They do.
Sometimes it speaks and it's out of turn.
It's so awful.
Back to you. Back to you, Leap.
I have no idea.
Who's ready for the autism speak?
This is a autism speaks moment.
Yes. Going bean, boing boing. Going bean, boing boing. Going boing, going bean, going boing, going ging, going. Going ging, going, ging, going, ging, going, ging, going, going. Yeah, I'm not that good at commentary. Maybe. Yeah, Morty.
Morty.
Hey, Morty. Morty. You want to do like a bit?
I guess.
Let's do an improvisation. Okay, I'm a dog. Oh wait, no. I'm the grocery store manager and you're a Karen.
Okay.
Okay, go.
I came here yesterday, and you guys were selling milk that was expired.
I'm sorry, man, but you know we'll check into it. You know, we'll come up with the solution.
Screw you.
Oh,
Yeah.
screw me.
Yeah.
You should leave my store, ma'am.
Whips out phone and gets on Facebook Live. I'm recording you, young man. How dare you disrespect your elder?
I'm nervous right now. I'm sorry.
Oh, my lord.
We'll fix the situation.
You better, or I'm gonna get you fired.
Oh really?
Yes, ma'am.
I am the store owner. You'll have to talk to the Burger King higher ups. No, we were at Burger King and they had milk, expired milk.
Oh my god.
They have expired milk at Burger King. Sucked straight from the Burger King's nips. Burger King. Who's ready for the Burger King special? You guys want the Burger King? Hey chat. Hey chat. Hey chat. Hey chat. Do you guys know how to use emojis? Just spam emojis right now. It'll be really funny. It would be really funny for the VOD.
For the vlog.
Do it for the VOD.
HumorDash Airsoft. Oh yeah, you are on YouTube.
Yeah.
You're like the second thing to pop up.
Yeah. What was your max number of subscribers you ever got? It was a 1. I got 1. You know, if I started doing a BTE with no subscribers, I probably wouldn't be streaming every day.
Yeah.
I would be working on other things most of the time. But yeah, I love doing this. This is fun. I get viewers every day. I get to talk to people in my chat, and it's really fun. I find it a very enjoyable experience.
Your chat seems very active.
I know, right?
Have you read it?
There's no one. Venus. Venus. I got the snifflies. I got a stopped up nose, dude. It's pretty sick. Literally. Get it? Cause it's stopped up and it's sick.
I'm gonna give you hepatitis Z.
I'm gonna give you F through Z. I'm gonna give you the special runner-up, D.
D.
Who's ready for number 4?
Who are you watching now? Hello, third viewer. How are you doing?
Hello, third viewer. How's your
Say
name?
hello in chat or die.
Say hello in chat or perish or become T-Series.
Yeah, if you like. Oh, there's a fourth person. This is Wacko. This is pretty crazy, guys.
Hey guys, sub and like the video. Sub and like the video, or you're a T-Series fan.
You're gonna do the big epic F in the chat.
That actually works sometimes. Yeah, just saying that actually works. Sub or you're a T-Series fan. Sub to PewDiePie or you're a T-Series fan. Don't sub to T-Series gay. T-Series got the Indian. Whatever that fucking means. Hey Leap.
Yeah.
Sub to PewDiePie or T-Series is gay.
I'm already subbed to Pewd.
Sub to him again.
Maybe.
Survive.
A candy dish is filled with mix of cherry and blueberry jelly beans. Avery takes a jelly bean out of the dish, randomly eats it. Then so does Kara.
Are you doing math?
Yeah.
You need help with probability?
No, I'm really good at probability.
Probability is
it
easy.
dependent or independent? I hate this part.
If I ever had to read a probability problem ever again, I would probably read it like, Carrie takes an apple out of the apple basket. There are 7 apples in the apple basket. How many apples are left? 6! There were 7 apples in the apple basket. Now there are 6, and she took one out while she's a fucking cunt.
Oh my god.
She took all my fucking apples with a fucking car.
I'm gonna beat up you.
I'm gonna beat your nipple.
Bruh.
I'm gonna beat your cat.
The cat go beep beep.
The scoop it beep bop, scrap, skip, skip, skippity bop. It's skip, scoopity, skippity boop. Scoppy, scoopy, skip, skip. Skirt, skip, scoopy, skippity bop boop. Scott beep 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 bop, skippity bop boop. Wow, 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 wow.
Daddy? Son.
Son.
Daddy? Son. Wanna play football? Not now, son.
Not now, son.
Son.
Gamers await.
That's how that goes.
Oh yeah, you know how you know what the meme should be? Hey dad,
No.
what's up son? Would you play football with me? Not right now. I have to win this game.
Are you winning, son?
Are you my son? Son. Cern. I am discerned. Cern. It is time for the meatball surprise. You ever had the meatball surprise, Leap?
Meatball.
Meatballs
No, I have
them.
not.
Meatballs them, dude. Who's ready for the meatball? Hey Chad, you ready for the meatball surprise? Say I in chat if you're ready for the meatball surprise. It's a pretty good meme. It's funny. Yeah. It's a funny meme for the funny man. Do the funny thing. It's funny. Yeah. Okay. Sparring for content be like, what? Okay. Just sparring for content right now. You ever sparred for content?
I don't know. Probably.
Sparring for content. Let's go. Let's do another improvisation. That worked out pretty good.
Okay.
I'm the school bus driver. And you're an angry kid who got hit on the bus.
Okay. Bus driver, why'd you hit me, you pedophile?
That's not how this is supposed to go. This is not how this is supposed to end. I like my reaction. Okay, let's do another one.
Okay.
You're an employee at Duke Energy, and they're not paying you enough.
I quit.
I quit.
That's it.
But what about the benefits?
There is no benefits.
That's right, because you're poor. I don't want to live in the glowing tower ever again. I'm gonna live in the glowing art tower.
Is your wait? Hold up, give me a second. I think your stream's only having my audio.
Oh really? No, it's fine. It's fine. Really? No, it's fine.
Okay. I can hear myself, but it's really, really
It's
quiet. So
fine.
you might want to like turn up the Discord like input or output
Fine.
volume.
Oh, okay. You can do that. No, it's fine.
Okay. I can hear myself, but it's really, really
It's
quiet. So
fine.
you might want to like turn up the Discord.
Oh no, it's loud enough.
Volume.
It's pretty loud. You can do that.
This is confirmed a cash money moment.
This is a confirmed.
Myself, but it's really, really
It's
quiet. So
fine.
you might want to like turn up the Discord.
Oh no, it's loud enough. No, it's not loud enough. It's not loud
do that.
enough. It's not.
This is confirmed.
Alright,
cash
time to
money
keep
moment.
doing school.
This is a confirmed.
Yeah.
You're like so like bass boosted,
Oh,
dude. No, it's
I
not
know.
loud enough. You're like bass boosted to beyond belief.
Is this
Time to
better?
Keep doing school.
This is a confirmed.
Humor.
You're like so like bass boosted, dude. Bass boosted to beyond belief.
This is so.
Keep doing
My
school.
ears.
Listen to stream.
You're like so like.
Do I sound better?
HumorDash.
HumorDash.
This is so.
Roger.
You're just fucking like bass boosted. I don't know why.
Hold up.
Do I sound better?
No, on the stream.
Roger.
Is this better?
Fucking like
This is
bass
way,
boosted.
way
I don't
better.
know why. You're like bass
No,
boosted on
the
stream.
This is better.
This is way, way
You're like bass boosted. It's so cursed.
Is this better? Now my mic's heavily far away.
No, it's through my Streamlabs is why the problem is doing this. You're like
Okay,
bass
wait, I
boosted.
wanna
It's
hear
so cursed.
Is this better? Now my mic's heavily far away.
No, it's through my Streamlabs is why the problem is doing this. You're like bass boosted. It's so cursed. No, it's through my
This is so fucking bad.
So bassy, I can hear the background.
It's so cursed.
It's like whoa.
So what does it sound like to you? Stream your screen.
Okay.
Because it might just be me that I'm hearing. I'm
I
hearing
think
you
it's
sound.
Streamlabs because I'm hearing the bass boosted part 2 when I watch your stream.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
This is an Epstein moment.
I wonder how I fix that.
Alright, hey, my guy, I think I might leave the call.
Uh-huh.
I've got a lot of shit to get focused on. Thanks
Uh-huh.
for having me on. Peace, homie.
Peace.
Peace.
So I wonder how I fix this chat. I got no clue how this is doing this. No fucking clue. Filters. No filters applied. Okay. Performance. What does that do? I don't know what that is. Okay. Interesting. Test that do. I don't know what that is. Interesting enough. That is not the problem. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. That's weird. I'll have to see how to fix that. Because I did not know that all my streams have been scuffed recently with some reason. Interesting. Something's peculiar about that. That's pretty peculiar. Anyways, I'm gonna mute my stream, and then we're gonna listen to podcasts.
with us again. Is Andrew Yang the, can I call you a futurist? Do we accept this title?
You know, I used to joke, Ethan, that people call me a futurist, but I'm actually a presentist because it's all going on right now. And I was contrasting myself with other political figures who seem stuck in the past. It's like everyone's arguing for some version of the past. So I, you know, but if people call me a futurist, I mean, it sounds cool. It makes me sound with it and forward thinking. So I mean, I'll take it.
That is a good point, though. I mean, the ideas that you were speaking about only, you know, a year or two ago before COVID is already here now. UBI was your kind of main platform, and once COVID hit, this whole UBI discussion came forefront. Like all of a sudden, this isn't such a bad idea.
Yeah, a majority of Americans now support universal basic income. That just came out this week, and something like 76% of Americans favor cash relief during the pandemic, which is, as you can tell, a very close cousin to universal basic income. And we're getting a ton of economic data right now that's showing that the money we're putting into people's hands has been enormously positive for the economy, for those individuals and families, for people's ability to continue to spend money in their local communities. So it's been like a large scale kind of involuntary UBI trial, but I'm happy to say that it seems like now it's mainstream wisdom and the majority of the American people support it. I just wish it didn't have to be under these circumstances, but thank you all, because you were ahead of the curve. Pre-pandemic, you were like, hey, this is actually a good idea. And then now we all look like geniuses because everyone's like, we should totally freaking do this.
No, the timing was crazy because once the pandemic hit and everyone started talking about cash relief, like your name started trending on Twitter because everyone was like, dude, Andrew has been talking about this right before it happened. The timing was unbelievable. But what the government has done, like you said, is cash relief. It's not really UBI, whereas a lot of other countries have gone beyond and just said, you know, during this crisis, we're going to give you cash every month. Our government has stopped short of that. They gave one time $1,200. Is that enough, in your opinion, to really help people get by?
Well, it's better than nothing, but it should have been recurring. They should have done that sort of thing every month for virtually everybody. I just want to say how happy I was to see you and Gila with your help economic relief, where you're just giving folks $500, which is an enormous difference maker. I know, because we've been doing something similar, but our government should have been doing that kind of thing from day one for virtually all of us. And the thing that made me there are a lot of things that made me very angry about our approach, but we're using the IRS as a tool to get people these checks, and that was the right move under the circumstances, but it still misses a ton of people because there are a lot of people that are not filing tax returns that don't make enough money in many cases. And when we were trying to get money to people, we were just doing what ordinarily people would do, which was like Venmoing or Cash Apping or PayPal. I mean, that's how you and I send money to each other. When we send each other money every night, which, that's not to say, you know what I mean? But like if individuals are trying to send money to each other, like you can just do it. So that's what my org has been doing. Our government, how can our government not use an app that like millions of us used?
But do you find, so
it's like if they wanted to get money to us, like they could get money to us.
I wonder, do they, it almost seems like too unofficial, the government sending money to people through like Venmo or something. Do they make their own proprietary thing? Like, how do they do that really? And it just seems odd for the government to send $1 trillion over Venmo.
It would have been awesome, though.
I mean, it would have been awesome. I agree. Is that a feasible?
Like, go here.
Is that a realistic?
Venmo.gov. Actually, I should say cashapp.gov because I'm better friends with Jack.
Oh, I didn't know.
Cashapp.gov.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, it's fun I joke about how unofficial it seems, but that is the kind of move that I wish we'd made. And at this point, the vast majority of Americans know we need to do a lot more for people. I'm friends with a guy who has essentially a dashboard to the financial pictures of over 2 million American temp, gig, and contract workers. And so he's seeing their financial fortunes rise and fall in real time. And he said that like their jobs started to evaporate in March, but a lot of them kept getting money from the unemployment benefits. And that was like the big lifeline for a lot of these folks. And then he saw those benefits end in July, and then all of a sudden stuff just starts heading down. He also said that the temp and gig opportunities have gone down by 60% writ large. So a lot of those people don't have jobs to seek out. And they had money and now they're not having money. And so he's seeing it all evaporate in August. So we should be doing more of what we did in April, where we just sent people money. We should be doing it to virtually everyone every month. To your point too, Ethan, because they're doing a lot of those sorts of things in other parts of the world.
Right. Yeah, I mean, we're in this situation. I don't know how people are going to continue to get by because, like you said, the benefits basically just stopped, right? Where if you're unemployed, people are getting an extra $600 on top of their unemployment. And I know for a lot of people, they said, this is huge. This is helping me a lot. That's ran out now, right? And so I genuinely am and then at the same time, you have in a lot of places the eviction moratorium expiring, and I feel like we're kind of on the verge of a cliff that we're about to fall off of. I mean, and in the meantime, the Congress isn't pushing any new relief bills, or they're incapable of coming to some kind of compromise. I mean, it just seems like we're right on the blade's edge right now.
The fact that my friend with his company and he has his real-time dashboard, yeah, like you can see people's way of life deteriorating and disintegrating in front of you. Something like 30% of Americans had trouble meeting housing payments last month. And so if you have an eviction moratorium and people's unemployment benefits start to dry up, you're going to see mass evictions, and folks are going to be in unthinkable situations pretty quickly. It really does make me very angry that our Congress isn't doing the obvious. It's just showing how dysfunctional the government is at this point.
I mean,
it's why I ran for president, and now I'm shifting gears because you have to do whatever you can to solve the problem. So now I shifted gears to giving money to folks like you've been doing. Thank you to everyone who donated.
Yeah.
And pushing for other solutions. I'm trying to get Trump out because I think that none of these problems are going to get addressed meaningfully unless we have a different set of leaders. But that nothing I just said should stop members of Congress right now from doing what the vast majority of Americans want to see in the form of cash relief. Again, it's like if 76% of Americans are for something, why is it so hard for our members of Congress just to come together and say, let's just do what everyone wants? Yeah. And it's obvious, and economists say it's the right thing to do.
Well, it was just baffling that they went on vacation. Congress just bounced. They went on vacation without a deal. And I mean, it's like just losing faith in the entire system of our government. I was shocked that they just I find it so ironic that they're sitting on a cushy salary. They've got health insurance. They've got pension. They've got all these things that normal Americans would like to see from their jobs. And for them, it's so easy to just walk away and take a vacation while the country is burning. I mean, it's crazy that they can even do that.
Well, they're in their districts right now, and hopefully they're hearing the same thing. They're hearing everyone say, yo, get back there and fucking pass a stimulus bill or recovery bill.
Connection.
Yeah, I bet they're hearing that every day, all the time. I hope they are. Certainly, I've been pushing in any way I can, and hopefully reason will prevail. I just hope it doesn't require something disastrous for reason to prevail over there.
Well, they say about Americans, I think Churchill said this, you can count on America to always do the right thing once they've exhausted every other option.
Yes. So right now they're going to exhaust the people somehow survive on nothing option, and then when they realize that doesn't that doesn't work. You know, that the tough part is, so let's say that I was an awesome, spirited person and I ran for Congress and then I won and then I show up. It's like you show up and there's like all this entire giant hierarchy that's been built up, and then there are like a couple of deal makers in your party. And you're like, hey, I would like to make a deal, but I don't have control over my caucus. And then we have a few lead negotiators, and the other party has lead negotiators. In this case, it was Mitch McConnell trying to rally the Republican senators and see if they can reconcile it with Nancy Pelosi's House bill that was passed by the Democrats. And you go back to your district and everyone's yelling at you, and you're like, man, I can't get this thing done. I mean, part of the problem is that you have these two sides in Congress that they can go home without a deal, and then blame the other side and say, well, it was their fault. They didn't close the gap.
There's been a lot of talk I've seen of a 4-day work week. That seems to be something that you've been focusing a lot on lately. I'll tell you from my experience, when I was working a desk job in Israel, I worked a normal office job 5 days a week, the whole 9 to 5, 9 to 6. And that whole time I was like, dude, I could do this in 4 days easily. I mean, when you're sitting at a desk, you waste so much time. And I always thought that idea was brilliant because it's got to do wonders for morale, right? I mean, have you been reading studies and literature about that?
Yeah, the data is tremendous around a 4-day work week. And it's also common sense because work kind of expands to fit into whatever time you have. You know what I mean? Like if I give you a bunch of stuff to do and be like, you've got 5 days, it's going to take you 5 days.
Right.
If I say you've got this much to do and you have 4 days, it's only going to take you 4 days.
Well, especially with the promise of an extra, week.
It's motivating.
Yeah.
In Israel, we only have 1 day weekend. So, it's funny? When I moved here, I was like, this is like a dream. I love the long weekend. But I started to feel like, God, I wish I had one more day. And I started to feel guilty about that. And like, I really can't get enough. Can I like...
Wait, tell me more. So Israel, like, just as a 1 day weekend, which I'm guessing is Saturday.
Yeah. So Sunday is the first day of the week. It's not Monday. So
that is wild. How I consider myself a fairly worldly, cosmopolitan person, and I did not know that.
Yeah. School is Sunday through Friday, and you only have Saturday off.
They go to school 6 days a week. Can you imagine that hell?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to say something. Please don't judge me. I went to a prep school that had classes on Saturdays, so I actually had
my God, you can't imagine that
school week, and so I can imagine it, and it was not pretty. That's for sure.
That's horrible. Yeah.
But
so
I just read about it only recently because you've been talking about it, and I find the whole idea so interesting, and I think I want to read more about it and learn what it really means, because we actually have a business and we have maybe 20 employees, so we could decide to go that route for everyone. But I would have to know like what exactly it would mean.
Yeah, you should look into it for sure, and then maybe even run like a trial. Because in your case, you'd run a trial. But the data is very positive, where it says that productivity either stays the same or goes up, in the sense like you get the same amount of work done. And then there are reduced stress levels, increased morale. Like the people use that extra day off in a way that they find restorative and productive in like a personal way. And so it's like upside on the personal side, and on the business side, the productivity side, there's really no loss, and in some cases there are positives.
Right.
So and to me, society-wide too, America in particular, and you guys have like a very distinct job, if I do say so, but but like America generally has this this workaholism problem, or one person called it workism, which is probably like maybe a better name, where Keynes projected decades ago, said we'll be down to a 15-hour work week because we'll be so rich. And it turns out his estimates of the top line were right. Like we are as rich as he said we were going to be. But our work week are actually migrating longer, not shorter, because of the nature of corporate culture and the economy where it's like you have to be always on and available, and the work
Yeah.
kind of creeps. And that is what's happening right now. And it's driving health problems, stress problems, relationship problems.
Yeah.
You know, like there are a lot of signs already that the American work culture is kind of morphed into something not terribly healthy. And so I think a 4-day work week would be a massive improvement for many corporate cultures. And I gotta say, like, a lot of the times you're there, like, you're not doing shit.
No.
Like, you know, probably like one day a week you're just like, I didn't do shit today. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So if you have,
I mean, I probably was spending 30 hours a week on Reddit. I've gone to pages of Reddit that men have never even known. I've been to thousands of pages back, unknown pages of Reddit. That was my
deep
job.
dives.
Yeah.
When you were in Israel, you were like, someday I'm going to be a massive internet creator, and I'm going to spend my time mining like the deepest depths of the internet in preparation.
Yeah, exactly. It was prep. You know, in Finland, the prime minister had called for employers to allow employees to work not only 4 days, but 6 hours a day. So they are taking it to the next level.
That's some next level stuff. I might not go to that extreme, but I like where their heads are at.
Right.
Can
But
we
I'll-
just not work?
Yeah, in Finland they're saying no work. But you know, I'll tell you what, because as business owners, we're always thinking about like morale, and you want to retain you want to retain the talent and make sure that they're happy and satisfied working there. So I'll tell you what, on a 4-day work week, I don't think anyone's going to leave your company. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds
Your
exciting.
morale and retention would be very, very high. I'm sure your staff that are listening to this are like subtly nodding, being like, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if I can do that for you, Dan and Ian and Zach, because we have a production schedule. What can I do? I can't give you the. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sorry.
I used to work in movies. This is easy by comparison.
There you go. That's
So
what
you
I
don't
like
work
to hear.
us like 14 hours days regularly.
Well, and this is as someone, because I've also run startups, and most of the startups I ran, we worked our asses off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, so there isn't like there isn't something against hard work. I mean, I love working hard. You know, that was one of the funny things about running for president on universal basic income, where people are like, well, what about work? And then, like, depending upon my mood, I would respond in different ways. But sometimes I'd be glib and be like, I'm Asian, I love work. And people would then, you know, back off a little bit. But
But that is one of the fallacies, right, about the UBI. People say, oh, you're just not going to work. But I feel like that's such a misunderstanding of the human condition. I mean, nobody just wants to have no purpose in life. I mean,
Right.
that's outrageous.
well, this is the thing that like, you know, like makes you laugh. Is like they'll say two things simultaneously. One, work is the most important element of human life, and without it, we are lost. And two, no one will want to do it if you give them a little bit of money.
Great, yeah, great
those
point.
two things don't really come together. It's like, if it's so crucial, then wouldn't we do it anyway? Maybe
I think-
slightly
But
broadly
also-
defined.
That's a great point.
I feel like also the beautiful thing about UBI is that it goes to everyone at any different position that they are in life. So you could be having a crisis. You could be having a mental thing that doesn't allow you to work right now. You know, you could be having a physical injury that you can't work right now, even if you want to. So it reaches everyone at different places in their life. You know,
Of course, yeah.
like
I mean,
it's funny that you're just thinking about this one situation where you're healthy and you do want to work, but like you're not gonna work because you have money.
because you're getting
what about all
$1,000 a month, yeah.
Yeah, what if you have an ailing loved one? What if you have
Yeah.
you know, a young child or something?
Or
you
mental
need to take care
illness,
of yourself?
or
mental, yeah.
Yeah.
like right now we have this incredible
Pandemic.
we have or you're in a pandemic. We have this homelessness problem that's just kind of crushing LA right now. And if you gave each homeless person, if there was that bottom, social safety net, I think you would see a lot lot less, almost probably to zero in terms of homelessness. You know.
Now, if you had that level of resources, you could reduce homelessness very, very dramatically. The issue would be the transition, because some of the people that are homeless right now have mental health problems or drug addiction problems, and then may not even have a bank account where it's like trying to send you the money, like what's going on. But over time, if you knew that everyone had this money that they were entitled to, then you would reduce homelessness pretty quickly, because then it would just look around and be like, wait a minute, like what's going on? This person has got like $1,000 a year in value. Like, you know, I just need to freaking make sure that it's actually working for them in a way. And if to the extent that people aren't in a position where it would work for them because of their own volition, like it'd actually be pretty straightforward to like help it work for them, where you'd have like an organization being like, for every homeless person I like bring into the shelter, like we're gonna get $1,000. So like let's go get that done. I mean, it is funny how market driven everything is in the US, but if you give everyone intrinsic value, then all of a sudden like the market value starts kicking in for people.
You know, the other kind of nice thing I like about the 4-day week is something I always thought about when I was working in my desk job. It's like, you pointed out this kind of workaholicness. I think it's kind of, in Israel, it's the same, you know. In a lot of developed countries or around the world, I think people just have this overwhelming pressure, social pressure, to show how much they care about their job by working unreasonable hours. You know, it's like in Europe, I was always blown away by the fact that people get like an entire month off, you know. And there's
August, freaking everyone disappears.
I mean, that to me is unfathomable. That and then the thing that blew my mind is when you learn that like Chinese New Year, even in China, these people are getting a month off. You don't see that, or 2 months off, even in
no.
a month off. In America, we don't have that.
A little less than a month.
We don't have that.
They travel back to their hometowns in many cases. I think it's less than a month, but it's significant.
Yeah.
Though their work week, I think, is like the Israeli model of 6 days.
Oh, really? Wow. So they work hard. But the thing is, in Israel, too, you don't have that. Well, you get holidays, but not like a designated time off. And so to me, it's like we as human beings need to be defined by more than just our jobs.
Now, I think a 4-day work week would be a massive value add in the United States, but I think that, you know, you wouldn't make it one size fits all for every organization, because I've been parts of some organizations where you probably want to have, you know, like a longer work schedule, and there are certain types of roles and where it makes sense. But I think as a default setting where like the expectation is you have a 4-day work week, I think it would be an incredible improvement, in large part because of what you just said, Ethan, which is like, what is the purpose of life? Is it our job, or is it something bigger that integrates a job, includes a job, but it's not like exclusively a job? So the 4-day work week is something that to me would actually make work like an appropriate part of our lives,
right?
You know, in a way that right now we have to be honest that it's just creeping upwards. Like it's going like from 5+ into like that zone. And I'm a data guy, and there are very, very clear signs that right now it's having a damaging effect on our health, mental health, stress levels, relationships, family formation. And all of that stuff was pre-pandemic. The in the pandemic, we just have to do anything we can to give people like a real sense of well-being, and even folks who are doing well, quote unquote, like relatively speaking during this time, are not exactly like necessarily mentally doing well. You know, there's just a lot of there's a lot of stress right now that I think if you had a couple of days a week or 3 days a week where you were genuinely disengaged from work, it would be like enormously helpful for so many of us.
Do you see yourself doing that?
You know, it's funny. It's like it certainly sounded like I was talking about myself just then. I mean, for me, I'm in a similar boat to you. I think where you know we're in a situation where we're just trying to do positive things and help people. Like I'm very busy right now. You know, I just spoke at the DNC last night, and then I went and talked about my speaking at the DNC later in the night. You know, we're distributing economic relief like you. We're working on this data project where we're trying to get people paid for their data. I'm helping these down and ballot candidates who are running on universal basic income because we got to try and make it happen for folks. So I'm campaigning for them all the time. I'm campaigning for Joe and Kamala against Trump. So I'm busier than ever, and it's cool in the sense that like the world is on fire, and I feel like thanks to you and
thanks to you,
some other folks who believed in me, like I feel like I've got something of a fire extinguisher.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
world's on
right.
fire, and I got a fire extinguisher.
That's great.
So like I better fucking try and put the fire out because you know it's like not everyone has a fire extinguisher. It's just like you guys, where you looked up too. You were like, wow, there's a lot of freaking need and suffering right now, and like I can help. So you tried to help. Like I'm in the same boat you are, where this is a time for me to like not worry too much about my own like balance.
Yeah. I mean, right. I think it's different for entrepreneurs or people who manage. I mean, obviously, it's important, but for people who don't have much of a choice in the matter, you know, who are expected to do things. You know, when you were running for president, you made it super far. What were you, like the 5th candidate?
Around there, yeah, something like that.
You don't remember the exact number?
Well, there were different kinds of polls.
No, we could go. No, yeah, there were different levels
but I mean,
of stuff. So I'm thinking about the people that were.
You were
like I might have been 6th.
I like 5. Let's say 5.
Top 5. Let's do it. Why not?
But I mean, I was Yang Gang all the way. I still am. When you left when you dropped out of the presidential race, you endorsed Joe Biden, and you got a lot of shit for that. And I was fascinated by
I do remember that.
I mean, I was fascinated by the response of how people felt betrayed by the fact that you had endorsed Joe Biden. Well, I mean, what was that experience like for you to have some of your supporters turn on you?
You know, I spent a full day or so just responding to people, being like, "Hey, I understand why you're angry," like because I appreciate everyone who supported me a great deal, and you know, if they disagreed with my opinion or judgment or decision at that time, I just wanted to try and explain. And in my case too, Joe called me and asked me for my endorsement, and I essentially I was like, look, I kind of want to let this process play out, and then I endorsed him when, to me, he was going to be the nominee, and I was like, all right, like I should do what I can to unify the party,
right?
And bring us together. So I understood where people were coming from, and I tried to address it, and hopefully over the past number of days and weeks, like, you know, more people have come to understand like the situation we're in, and you know, like hopefully they're going to support Joe, because to me it's Joe or Trump. And but I get it, because I was the Berner. I like Bernie a lot, and Bernie was right about so much. And so if someone was like, fuck you, Yang, like, you know, like you like endorsed the wrong guy, I'd be like, I totally get it, because like I love Bernie too, and like, you know,
at that point he had pretty much had no chance of winning.
Yeah, I am the math guy. I saw the math, and I was like, this is not going to happen, because you know, I'll put it in, you know, actual terms. He needed to win Michigan in a significant way to have a chance, and he did not. And then I was like, this shit's over. Like you know, because he like won Michigan last time. So like you saw, you know, like if he didn't win it this time against Joe, it was like, you know, there was no path.
Yeah.
What is it like to get a call from Joe Biden asking for your endorsement? What does he say to you?
He calls. I mean, he's Joe, so he's like, hey pal, like, you know, how are you, like, you know, like how's the family? Like, we make small talk for a little bit, and then he's like, hey, could really use your support. Like we need you. So.
And you told him, let's hold
okay.
on. That's pretty epic.
I will say this, and this is something that. So there are folks who are running who are politicians, and some would take that as a pejorative, and I use it as a pejorative or like a negative term myself sometimes, like politicians, because I don't really consider myself much of a politician. But there is something to be said for folks who are effective at reaching out and like calling and whatnot. And Joe's one of those people. Joe's like a bridge builder and relationship builder. So and I have to say, like, when you get that phone call, like it does make you like more likely to want to help the person.
Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, because you're a human being, and like the human being calls you and is like, hey, you want to help? It'll be like, you feel like a bit of an asshole being like, no, sorry, I can't do it. So.
It's kind of amazing from 1 or 2 years ago from where you were to getting a call from the vice president asking for your support.
And I'll say, like, Joe called me more than once too, so it's not even like there's like.
You have his number? You have his cell number?
So Joe's not really the texting type.
How does it go? Does the call come from like, I've got Joe, I've got the vice president on the phone for you?
In his case, it's like, I've got the vice president for you, kind of thing. Yeah, in that sense. Some of the other candidates, we actually do text, like we've got each other's cell phone numbers. But Joe, like Joe,
he's
and I
old
never
school.
Traded numbers. Yeah, it's like he had like the
Once
the
you've
team.
been,
But I did get it, and
That's
you're right
cool.
too that like the ascent was very dramatic and rapid. Again, largely thanks to people like you and Gila who understood the problems I was trying to solve and like the approach I was taking and had like the vision. I mean, I super appreciative to both of you because you're so human, and there's something about some of the roles that we all have where. And you remember your office job in Israel and whatnot, and like you weren't being paid to be like ultra human at that time. You were being paid to like do whatever the heck role they needed you to do for X days, and it took people like you getting behind me to get me to a point where I could make a positive difference. It's one reason I'm thrilled to be back with you all because. I just love and appreciate both of you and feel like we're in a similar boat where you're looking around the world just saying like, is this really where we are? And like, let's try and move in a better direction.
Are we looking at a cabinet position? What's going on here?
So there's absolutely nothing's been, discussed in like a hyper official level, but unofficially, in the conversations we've had, people like would love to have you on the team, would love to work with you, like things like that.
I love that.
We would love.
What do you want to be? What's your dream? What's your dream position there?
So what I've been saying to folks is that I want to try and speed us up on these technology issues, and we could, I think the three of us could talk about this stuff for hours, but our government is just so out to lunch on technology issues, and so. That could be AI. That could be the selling and reselling of our data. That could be media and social media. That could be mental health issues that are attendant with smartphone adoption on the part of teenage girls.
Does that,
like there are all of these issues.
Does that cabinet position even exist?
It does not.
Right.
And
So that seems important.
But there's an advantage there because if they created a new role for me, then it's not like they'd be blocking anyone out because it's not like there are like 15 people being like, hey, I really want to be Secretary of Innovation and Technology. Can
we create a new cabinet branch?
Yes, that is something. So yeah, you can. That's the short answer.
I mean, that seems like a great place to go and perfect Yang style. Cabinet of Technology. Secretary of Technology.
Secretary of Technology and Innovation. Actually, the Washington Post just put that out there today. They said, here's the cabinet we recommend. And they said, Andrew Yang, like a Secretary of Technology and Innovation that advises all of the other cabinet members.
That's
oh
so
my
cool.
God, that would be amazing.
I'm lobbying for that from now on.
Can we do anything?
I actually think Joe could garner a lot of support by making that happen.
Do we have any input in making that happen? Like, can we do anything?
Well, if people were to, if there was a groundswell of support being like, hey, Joe, like if you signal to everyone that you're going to name Andrew the Secretary of Technology and Innovation, it would help us vote for you. They might do it because there's no reason not to really. I mean, like, again, it's not like a role that exists presently. And so, you know, it would make him seem forward thinking. So if enough people, and this stuff, you know, it's not, that under the radar in the sense, again, the Washington Post just recommended it.
Yeah.
So, and when I've spoken to people that like me, they were like, well, this like makes me more excited about Joe if they're gonna bring you on in this capacity.
Yeah.
Totally.
Okay, let me move on to another controversy. CNN, the ultimate betrayal. So after you dropped out, you took a position at CNN as a how is it called?
It's like a political commentator.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Which, by the way, I love seeing you on there. I'm just kidding.
I
I'm not criticizing you. But again, that was another thing where people are like, "Oh, Yang is working at CNN. It's a total betrayal." What do you say to that? What do you say to people who say that? Because a lot of people say CNN as fake news, right? So yeah, I know it's hard to say. CNN. So what do you say to that?
This is another thing where I kind of sympathize in the sense that when I was the mavericky outsider presidential candidate, you know, like a lot of the media organizations, you know, kind of marginalized me at various points. And there are some people that are very skeptical of the news media. In my case, when they asked me, said, hey, do you want to come on and talk about the debates? It was like a short-term offer and deal. And to me, it was like, initially I was like, oh, this can be something where I keep my voice out there and like hopefully try and do something positive. Particularly because the campaign ends, you know, you're like thinking, okay, I'm going to start an organization and do these things, but like it seemed like a way to maintain a place in the public eye. And then, and initially I was like, well, you know, who knows how long this will go for? Maybe I don't like it. Maybe they don't like me. And then they said to me very quickly thereafter, they were like, hey, like, we like you, you know, you want to make this like a little bit more long standing. So I would understand, again, skepticism where people are like, hey, like, you know, screw the media. In my case, it's like, well, I used to literally like fight to try and get on these networks and be like, please, like get me on.
Now they pay you.
And then now they're like having me on and I can hopefully both push ideas that I think are important. But the other thing is that I thought it was very helpful to normalize me to more Americans. Because if you look up, we had like a Donald Trump in the White House in part because he was in everyone's living rooms for years. It's like, you're fired, and like this apprentice nonsense. And then people were like, oh, he's like the boss, like, you know, and then sort of like life imitating reality where it's like, we should make that guy president. So like I started out as such the outsider figure that I thought that if I could become more familiar to more Americans, where it's like, oh, I trust that guy, you know, he's like, and then for some people that are like listening to this being like, I would never trust anyone on that. But, you know, there are many Americans who would trust someone more if they were on their TV set consistently for a period of time.
I love it whenever I see you there. It brings a smile on my face. Because usually,
thanks, that makes me so happy.
Yeah, me too.
Usually it's like so depressing having this stuff on, and I don't know. It's just it feels so repetitive, and you know what they're gonna say, but you always have this freshness about you, and you just talk simply, and it makes sense, and you got good ideas. So.
Well, thanks, Elo. That means a lot.
Yeah, I agree totally.
Yeah. So it's been an interesting experience for me because like I had never really done that kind of media pre my presidential run. But I'm glad that you find my presence uplifting and that I say something reasonably.
I think you make a really good point though, because it's like if you think CNN is fake news and full of all this crap, why don't we get someone on there who, you know, can bring a dose of reality and realism to it, right? So maybe because do they give you notes? Or they're like, yo, here's our talking points, we got to stick to this? Like, is there any kind of shadowy behind the scenes shit going on?
There has not been where I'm concerned.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, they just stick a mic in my face and being like, Andrew, what did you think just happened? And then I like say something, and then like
No
I've gotten
memos.
I've gotten zero direction and zero feedback. There has never been any like, hey Yang, like settle
Right.
that shit down, or you know, like, or like, you know, you said Tulsi Gabbard's name, or like there's been zero of that. It's been always like, you're clear, get lost. so that's also something, you know, it's like it's felt positive, where just this week at the DNC or whatever, I thought like AOC had been miscast, frankly, like and underutilized, and then getting the chance to say that on CNN, I was like, oh, this is great. Like, I'm really excited. I can actually point out something I think is like a real problem with what, you know, with the decision that was made. Yeah. So I've hopefully people like still feel like it's me, I guess, like I haven't become some.
Definitely. I can say as a supporter, I mean, that yeah, it's Yang on TV. How's that? Is that a good job? They pay you all right?
It's not you know, it's no Teddy Fresh, but but you know, I mean, they do pay me every month, and you know,
How does
I
it
mean,
work? Do you just on call from a certain? I've always wondered how those jobs work, because they have shows, they have different like commentators, and then they bring in the people to do the co-commentary. So are you on call a certain hours a day, and then they zap you in? How does that work?
Yeah, I never knew how it worked either, and I'm still not sure if this is how it works for everyone. But I'll tell you how it works for me. So they say, hey, just be available, and then I'll get a ping from someone, typically at least 24 hours in advance, saying like, this show would like to have you on to talk about something that happened or something in my wheelhouse. And then the other thing that will happen was they'll be like, hey, there's this occasion, let's call it the Democratic National Convention, where we want you on every night from this to this. So those are like the two types of context I get.
So do they pay you a retainer, or do you get paid more the more airtime you get?
I get a retainer. So like it's the expectation is just that, you know, if they ask me to do something, that I'll be reasonably available. But if I say like, hey,
yeah, that seems like a good job.
I'm just not free that day, then they'll be like, all right, they'll go away. It's like,
wow, that's awesome. So
Really,
congratulations.
that's how it works for me.
I mean,
I can't say it works
congratulations
like
on the
that.
job. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And I'm happy you're doing it. USPS. Why should we burn USPS to the ground, Andrew? Tell me, what should we do about USPS? Do we destroy it? Do we dismantle it? It's not profitable.
I mean, that's really the summary, Ethan. Like in American life, it doesn't make money, kill it. You don't make money, you're an infant, die. You know, it's like whatever the heck the problem is. I mean, that's pretty much where we've gotten to in American life now, where like we're trying to turn everything into an economic instrument, and if like it's not profitable, then you know it should stop existing. So the post office, I will say, I think that the attack on the post office stuff, like I don't think it's going to impact the fundamental operations of the post office, but it is true that we need to fund the post office to a higher degree, and just accept that, look, it could be that mail does not make money on a on an annual basis. And there are tons of things that we do that make our post office less competitive anyway. It's like expecting it to make money and then keeping it from doing things that could make money is just so dumb. And I don't know if Israel's really smart, so you probably already do this, but like in a lot of countries, they give the post office other shit to do. You know, it's like you can do like basic banking services from the post office. Like there are things you can do. Here in the US, it'd be like, well, you can't do that because it would compete with like the check cashers or whatever, like these private firms that do various, like you can do a lot of routine stuff in post offices around the world. In the US, like there are real restrictions on all of that stuff.
That's true. I think you can do some stuff. I can't remember right now.
I think you can have a checking account. You can convert money,
Right.
stuff like that. But look, it's in the name. It says postal service. It's a service.
Yeah, it's literally just something that's supposed to be provided to us. And I saw something that was really interesting where we invested a ton in the post office early on just to connect communities. You know, like that where literally you had these frontier settlements,
Right.
and you had to like have some dude on a horse and like a sack of mail, like getting them their mail. Like there were massive investments just to try and connect people. And that connectivity helped lead to trillions of dollars in economic development over time. And then at some point we turned on it. We're like, you got to make money like every day. You know, it's just like, it's like an investment in civilization.
Right. And I mean, if you deliver a letter to the middle of like some super remote location in Nebraska, I mean, there's no way that will ever be profitable, you know, but we do it to keep our country modern and connected. It's like you said, civilization.
And that post office in Nebraska is a freaking hub for that town, you know, like that, like they literally go in, and it's one reason why I think having different purposes for the post office could be so important. There's another informal gathering space that I think could be key in a lot of communities, and that's the town library. And it's like, how the hell do town libraries, you know, quote unquote, make money? It's like you go in there and they like freaking charging you an arm and a leg for like borrowing that children's book. But one of the things that the town library could do is to try and replace some of the 1,000+ local newspapers that have gone out of business in the United States because all the content got digitized and you can't make money off of classified ads anymore because it all went to Craigslist. And so what happens is you get rid of the local paper in a town, which is terrible and it's bad for democracy. And like, how can you vote on what's going on in your town if literally no one's even covering what's going on in your town? It's very important for identity to have some kind of local publication. But in towns where the local paper got eliminated, what happened was the town library often ended up putting up like a bulletin board or like a community board that becomes the de facto what is going on in my town situation. So you can imagine like a revved up version of a town bulletin board coming out of town libraries. Like there are things we need to invest in a lot of these communities that are getting decimated right now because they don't make money.
Well, that's sad. And I think it's something we really need to kind of change in how we view a lot of things, that not everything's going to make money. I mean, geez. How do we convince ourselves that this was the right way to evaluate things? I mean, it's wild. I mean,
it's been like a massive conditioning of American culture.
I mean, what does
over
it
the
say?
last 40 years.
What does it say about human beings as workers? You know, if you can't look at anything and not see its value if it doesn't make money, what does it say about human beings?
Well, this is what I was running on before, was that I knew that we'd been conditioned to think that we all needed to be economically productive. And then I said, you know what, technology is going to surpass our productivity in a lot of these arenas pretty quick. And if we don't start evaluating ourselves in a different way, then it's going to lead to disaster. And now we're seeing some version of it with the pandemic. And so I think universal basic income would very quickly disentangle this confusion, the mixing of economic value and human value. Because if you all just start getting money for breathing, for living, for existing, then you can start to feel like, okay, we all have some worth that's independent of how much money I'm making at any moment in time. And then that alone would humanize your perspective really quickly.
Do you, I know you've already endorsed Joe Biden, but is there any chance we can get you to vote for Kanye 2020 vision?
Oh, I'll tell you guys a story because it's fun. But like, a mutual friend actually connected me with Kanye on the cell phone, and so like, he was just like, "Hey, wanted to connect you with Kanye because he wanted me to talk to Kanye about his run, because I ran for president. It's like if anyone was going to tell Kanye what the presidential deal was." So then Kanye called me. I missed the call, and so I played phone tag with Kanye, and I got like a text message from him, and then, and I was like, like, okay, like if he wants to connect, it'd be all good. And we have some mutual friends that obviously, like the friend that put us in touch was one, and then I have others too. You know, Kanye's a creative genius, and you know, like I'm definitely not going to be voting for him, but you know, like I have a lot of
that's interesting. You guys never connected. I wish you guys connected. I'd love to hear that.
You know what I should do right now is I should fucking call Kanye while we're on this.
Call him.
Like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I missed each
He
other's
would
calls.
appreciate that.
I mean, like, and then try and get him on FaceTime.
Would you mind giving his phone number to Ian? Ian, our employee, is a huge Kanye fan. Ian, is there anything you want?
Don't meet your idols, you know.
Ian, is there anything you want Yang to text Kanye?
Let's see if I have this shit in my phone. Hang on. See if
Ask him where the album is. That's it.
Okay, it's 307. No, I'm kidding.
Steve Bannon just went to prison for the great Build the Wall. I got to say, Build the Wall, it's so funny how it quickly went from Mexico will pay for the wall to we'll pay for the wall to I'll just keep the money. There's no wall. I'll just keep the money.
Mexico pay for the wall to how about you pay for the wall?
To how about you pay me?
How about I take the money and then I spend hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I mean, it's incredible that. Were you blown away by that Build the Wall GoFundMe? Because when that came out, it was blowing my mind. I mean, it was so active. I could not believe. I saw people saying, "I just donated my entire tax refund, $3,000." And these are not rich people, right? I'm sure they could have really used that money, especially now. And like $25 million, how much wall does that get you? Like quarter mile, you know?
So I did this exercise when I was trying to figure out what was going on with like the truckers and like how much it would cost to lay a highway across the country that would just accommodate robot trucks. I was trying to figure out like if you're going to save tens of billions of dollars a year, like would it just pay off just to like make a highway that's like 8 lines wide that's just for robot trucks? And I did the math and it turns out it actually would pay for itself if you just decided to fucking like just like lay the robot superhighway and just
how much would
have
it
the
cost?
Robot trucks go back and forth. It costs somewhere in like the low billions.
That's it.
So you get your money back over time.
Wait, when you say low billions, are we talking like below 500? What does that mean, low billions? What's
well? So
give me a
I was
neighborhood.
Like one.
So it was. And so I I haven't done the math in a while, but I was I was trying to figure out. It was like, so the cost savings around automated trucking are tens of billions of dollars a year, but the main impediment is our infrastructure, because like we have you know like highway problems, and you also have this political problem that if you had a robot truck that killed someone on the highway, then people would be like, oh, like, you know, fuck the robot trucks. So then I was like, okay, like could you make it so there was no pedestrian traffic on this highway by just making a new highway? And I was like, how expensive is it to make a new highway in the United States of America? So like I found out what like the per mile was, and then I like did like the thousands of miles.
But that's
the rest of it. So then like you do a similar estimate for the wall is where I was going. It was like, how much does it cost to make a wall over like how long? It's like what kind of wall can I get for $25 million?
Not much of a wall,
I mean, I'd love to see what and the thing. I mean, all of its averages, because like there's certain parts where you could get a lot of wall for that much money, because like the terrain's really nice, and then other places you could be like, I can't build a fucking wall here. You know, like you'd have to find like the most opportune place. And anyway,
well, it is fantastic. I think that they ended up just I mean, they didn't really pocket the money, but they like bought a boat. Steve Bannon got charged for laundering money and wire fraud. So they were like, we're laundering the money, they were funneling it, and like the guy who set up the foundation bought a boat. It was fucking awesome. Like
there's always a boat involved.
Yeah, there's always a boat involved. That's the cardinal rule, isn't it? Oh, so
Yeah, it's
funny.
like you know, I did something illicit if I just turn up and be like, "Hey, you gotta come see the boat."
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And it always has some name that's somehow related to some shady way I made the money. Being like,
Steve Bannon got arrested on a boat even.
Oh, he was on the boat when he was arrested.
It wasn't his own boat. He was on. It was actually a weird twist to the story. He was on some Chinese billionaire's boat, and they
course he
boarded the
was.
boat and arrested him out on the high seas. It was like an interception.
What the
Yeah,
heck?
very crazy.
That's wild.
that sounds like a movie scene.
Yeah, it
Awesome. There
does.
could be
Totally.
like Chris Hemsworth like comes down to like the. They should have sent Chris Hemsworth to arrest him. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I see a true documentary coming out about this called "Build the Wall" or something about like the high crime documentary. Andrew, if you get this cabinet position, which we're all hoping for, tell me what are the first things that you think, like you're sitting down in America, you're part of the president's cabinet. What do we need to do first? What is the most pressing things we need to address in this country, America?
I mean, clearly it's cash relief and universal basic income. It's like that's just like the simple thing. It sounds, that's to me the single best thing we could do for people.
So let's
If
say
you say something technology related, then I'd actually choose something related, which is what we talked about earlier around the fact that we didn't actually have a system set up to get people money. So we use the IRS check distribution system. And I think it's bad for our confidence in our government that it sucks so bad at a lot of these things. Where like if you go to your bank's website or whatever, you just expect shit to work generally at a certain level. And then so you'd be like, well, why doesn't the government have something? So one thing I'd love to invest in would be essentially a citizen portal where if there was something like we're trying to get you money or trying to get you information or so the lamest version of this would be a citizen portal where it's essentially like here are all of these links to other fucking government websites that you can go to. Like that would be the absolute worst version. The best version would be you know what I mean? Like one of those boards where it's like here's a freaking flurry of websites to go to. Fuck you, but no. But like the good version would be like a slick interface where like the information from, let's call it your tax returns or from the passport office or wherever the heck like could actually be compiled, because part of the thing that makes me angry right now is that like you're hearing a lot of messages from folks all the time associated with politics, which is like trust us, you gotta trust us, and it's like, well, like you guys don't really deliver at the same level as like some of the other organizations I'm used to interacting with. So I would love to try and help the government deliver at like on a technical level, because I think it would be enormous for our confidence. So that would be something I would love to, especially if it was tied to universal basic income, because I think that there is a relationship where we need to actually know who you are, know how to get you money, have to have some kind of secure relationship with you and interface with you if we're going to try and add value.
Don't you think the big problem is that all of our elected officials and even, Joe Biden, I mean, how old is Joe? He's like 74 or something like that. I mean,
I think he's like 76 or 77. I think. I don't want to misspeak. I should know that. I mean,
he's in his okay. Oh, you're looking it up?
Hang on.
Okay, let's see.
I mean, maybe one of your team can.
Yeah, look it up, Zach.
He's 77 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So don't you think that's we need young people who understand this? Like I know 77-year-old people. They're not interested in Cash App. Do you know what I mean? They understand checks, and that's not their fault. It's just the way it is. But I think like we have this tendency of electing, especially lately, old people to office. Even Donald Trump is in his 70s, right? He's like 72, 73 years old. I mean, although he's a little...
74?
To be, 74.
Check that one too.
Somehow he doesn't, Trump, I guess
he's
maybe
he's got a young energy by being such an asshole.
Yeah.
He's got that asshole energy that you associate with.
He does a lot, I think. He does a lot with this. He does like a spray tan and the hair.
He's used to the cameras. I think he just, on camera, I think he comes off like that. obviously I never met him in person, but I have a feeling if you saw him in person, he would look that age to you.
I do give him credit. He has a more youthful spirit for whatever reason, and he's on Twitter. That's pretty epic.
True.
But that being said, I don't think Trump uses Cash App either. And so what we need is younger people. I really truly think we just need younger people, and that's one of the reasons. That was one of the reasons why I liked you, right? And one of the reasons I like AOC is that we just like AOC does Instagram Live every super frequently to talk directly with her.
People,
yeah.
She's like a digital native. I think the average age of a member of Congress is 62, to your point, Ethan. So it's not just presidential candidates.
Right.
Someone called it a gerontocracy. It's like a rule by the old. We essentially have a gerontocracy in the United States of America for a number of reasons. One of the main reasons is that after you get into Washington, you just try and stay there forever. And it's actually very hard to defeat an incumbent. So you have folks like Nancy Pelosi, I believe, is around Joe's age. And she looks great. But
she does. I agree.
But our leaders are of another generation because of the way the structure the structures are set up, and it's one reason why I'm for term limits, where you should go to DC as a term of service, get something done, and then get out. And it would help keep our legislators more current and fresh and modern. To your point, Ethan, because if you go to DC, you'll find it is not exactly a tech-friendly town. Like you go. I'll tell a story that was going to make you angry, but it'll be totally consistent with your understanding of the world. So I was on the trail, and then there was like this Asian kid. He's like mid-20s maybe, and he interned at his congressional office, and then they asked him to do something like answering messages or data related, like in the office. And he was smart, so he set up like a program to like automate the process and make it so that this thing will like happen more seamlessly and like less labor. This will be great. And then they yelled at him for it and said no, we didn't want you to do that. Where we actually preferred the way that like the other person could just understand and just like sit there and like just peck at it all the time. And he was like, what the hell's going on? And this is like a congressional office. And so he left. He now works at Facebook. He like went and worked in DC for like a summer, was like, they are freaking stuck in like the Stone Age. Let me get the hell out of here. And then he like pieced out to Silicon Valley. So like that is the general culture in DC, where you go there and you feel like you just rewound like a number of years. And if you go into some of these government agencies, it's much, much worse because some of them have been underfunded. So you have like very strange patchwork technologies from past years. I might be exaggerating, but probably not by much. But like Windows, like 2005 or whatever, like you go in and they'll just be maybe stuff all over in different government organizations. So that's the government we have. And like you said before, it's like not really anyone's fault. But we need to try and speed them up. And if I'm in position to try and move that in a better direction, like I would take it and do everything I could.
It sounds really necessary.
Yeah, we have to do that. I mean, I think the problem is that the rate of technology has passed our people. It's been going so fast that it's past them, right? When Joe Biden was in his 40s, even 50s, like 25, 26, 7 years ago, it was we were 1995. I mean, I don't even know that smartphones were popular then. I don't think not even close.
They were not.
Not even close, right? So I mean, in his own experience in government, the technology has ran around him like 30 times. So
yeah,
it's a new world.
They got rid of the Office of Technology Assessment in 1995, the year you just described.
The perfect time to get rid of it.
Yeah, they had a department that advised members of Congress on what technology issues they should care about and like the opinions. Like
why did they do that?
Why did they get rid of the Office of Technology Assessment? like it was like to quote unquote save money, which is like the most asinine thing in the world, because the budget of the entire thing was like 25 million. It was like a fucking drop in the bucket. You just had some smart people around telling you, it's like, hey, so you know where legislators get their technology guidance from now? The technology companies. And the technology companies are like, do absolutely nothing because everything is perfect. And then the legislators are like, yeah, that sounds about right. so
they're like, perfect. That whatever requires the least of me.
Yeah. So,
and especially if you're donating $25 million to my campaign, that's fantastic.
There was a period, and it's been interesting to see the pendulum swing somewhat. So Silicon Valley could do no wrong for a long time, where DC is concerned. There's like, oh, you're like the innovators, you're the super value creators, and you're rich as fuck, and you donate to my campaign. So let's just like leave you the heck alone and just sing your praises every chance we get. And then that pendulum has swung because of Facebook screwing some things up and some other problems. So now everyone's starting to turn towards them and be like, wait a minute, like, you know, is this really been like cool that Amazon is, you know, like, so one of the things that I think Amazon did wrong, there, you know, a bunch of things, but like there's diapers.com where they just lost money on diapers for a while, just like forced diapers.com to sell to them. Like Amazon did that sort of thing.
Just because I know about that story, correct me if I'm wrong.
What's the story? I didn't
So
hear.
they basically, like diapers.com was a popular website. They're selling lots of diapers. Amazon lowered their price below that to the point where they were losing money just to put them out of business. And then they raised their prices back up when they go under.
That's not cool.
I think that's so they go out of business. It was like they come to diapers.com and be like, hey guys, you guys are awesome. How about we buy you? And then diapers.com is like, no. And then Amazon's like, oh, we'll see about this. And then they lowered prices to a point where diapers.com was like hemorrhaging money. And then they were like, okay, I guess we will sell to you now. And then Amazon's like, that's what I thought. And then as soon as they buy them, then the prices go back up.
Is that illegal?
That is illegal, yes. Or it's illegal in the sense that it's anti-competitive behavior. It's against antitrust law. So that sort of thing has been coming out now. It's something similar with, and this was like, to me, the biggest nonsense was when Mark Zuckerberg was asked like, hey, the founders of Instagram were worried that if they didn't sell to you, that you were going to try and put them out of business and outcompete with them. Go into destroy mode, I think was the term they used. Destroy mode. And then Mark was like, no, I never would have done that. And then like we all know, it's like if Instagram had sold to Facebook, you know there would have been a freaking like Instagram clone out like that. And so that this is officially, you know, it violates antitrust law to do certain anti-competitive things like that. But the reality is, like, of course that, you know, if you're in that industry, like, you're going to do everything you can to try and crush anyone who could potentially end up taking your business.
I think you have to assume there's a lot of that going on we don't know of. Any company that gets to be that big, you're looking at the Microsofts, you're looking at the Amazons, you're looking at the Facebooks. You can't, correct me if I'm wrong. Can you get to be that big of a company without antitrust violations?
Without some anti-competitive behavior?
Yeah.
It'd be difficult. And the thing that most people don't realize now, and this is one reason why I think universe-based income is so vital, among others, is that some of these companies have essentially just like left orbit in terms of business physics. Like you think, okay, like I'm a company, I need to like, you know, be efficient and treat my workers well and like sell things at a profit. There's some companies that at this point are just like, like I'm worth $1 trillion. I don't even need to make money. Nothing matters. Like, what's that? You're like a cool startup. Like I can buy you for $400 million and everyone's rich and I don't even care. Like they're just so unfathomably big that like that not like nothing applies. I think Tim O'Reilly called it like super money. It's like at some point you just get super money and then like nothing matters. And then we still try and pretend. And what was funny is when they got brought into Congress, like they pretend too. It's like, oh, we started in the scrappy company. They're like, it's like freaking, at this point, they're almost like countries unto themselves. You know, they're just so staggeringly, enormously wealthy, and they have now at this point their stock market valuations are propped up in so many ways that they can almost do no wrong, and in that environment, they're just going to keep sucking up more and more value. Like the thing I kept saying to folks on the trail was like, look, Amazon's worth $1 trillion, paid zero in taxes, soaking up $20 billion a year in commerce, closing 30% of your stores and malls, and that was pre-crisis. It's like, you know, this thing's like a black hole. It's just going to just suck more and more value in, and we're not going to see anything coming out. And you think it's like, oh, it's because they're like out competing. At some point, they just left orbit. And the funny thing about Amazon is like there have been periods in its past where it didn't even make money. But at this point, you look at it and being like there was a Walmart executive who complained to me. He said, how can you compete against a company that doesn't even need to make money? And this was Walmart, which is sort of ironic because Walmart obviously like crushed every like mom and pop retailer in its past.
Now he's complaining about Amazon. That's beautiful.
Yeah, like I joked with the Walmart folks. It's like they were like the tanks that came to American communities around the country and just like ran over every mom and pop. And then they were like, we did it. We conquered America. And then Amazon's like a fucking spaceship like hovering over them. It's like, we don't need to obey the laws of gravity anymore. And then like Walmart's looking up being like, what do we do? And then you have our government over here and like they're just like, you know, the government doesn't understand what is going on and just looking up being like, yeah, like Amazon's a company like any other. That's like the they have their own. I mean, if you look at what's going on with Amazon, like Jeff Bezos is so rich, he bought the Washington Post with essentially like pocket change from his couch. Like, you know, like the Washington Post is a very, very influential publication that happens to be like the main news source in our nation's capital. Like, do you think that, you know, he literally, and he has been relatively hands off. Like he doesn't go in and be like, write about this, write about that. But it's telling. It's that like Amazon up here, Jeff Bezos, like, you know, up here, and then like, you know, our nation's major media, like news source for our legislators was like down here, and he was like, yeah, like sure. He just like took a couple $100 million out of the couch and just you know, I mean, he's worth at this point hundreds of billions. Anyway, sorry.
That was fascinating,
really
and I think it really
scary too.
It's terrifying. I think that analogy of it's like Walmart came in with the tanks but they weren't thinking big enough, and Amazon came in with the UFO spaceship and just zapped them.
I keep thinking about the video games you play when you like. You keep finishing and you replay it again with all the upgrades.
Oh yeah, just way stronger every time.
Like
ridiculously
strong.
I want to wrap this story because to me it's interesting. So one of the founders of diapers.com was a guy named Mark Lore. So then Amazon crushes diapers.com, absorbs them. Mark Lore becomes rich, but he's mad at Amazon. So he comes back for revenge years later and starts jet.com, I think he raised like $500 million, $1 billion, being like, we are going to outcompete Amazon and e-commerce. Like he's like, I have found the way. And so then, and so he got all of these investors to pile into Jet.com. And then Jet.com's like spending. Do you remember Jet.com?
No. I never heard of it.
So Jet.com, they had, I think their color was purple. They had like Jet and some smiley. Anyway, so Jet.com spends hundreds of millions trying to fight it out with Amazon in e-commerce. And then Walmart buys Jet.com as a way to try and make themselves competitive against Amazon in e-commerce. So that's like how it all fit together. It's like Mark Lore came back for revenge and then ended up like getting absorbed by Walmart in a relatively futile attempt to try and bring down the spaceship.
That's so weird. Why? That's so funny. I guess it never happened. I mean, Walmart failed to make it competitive, it sounds like.
Yeah, I don't think it's worked out.
No.
I mean, like, I'm sure. I don't.
Let's go to Jet.com.
I mean, Walmart had to do something.
Hold on, let's see if Jet.com is still.
I mean, I hope
no,
so.
It literally redirected to Walmart.com.
Yeah.
I think they paid $1 billion for Jet.com.
Wow.
I'm like, if you can look up that.
Were they just thinking like, look, we can't deal with another one of these? I just
It,
wonder.
it was it was literally to try and bring on Mark Lore to be like the Amazon killer, because if there was like any human that represented
it was
like
the diapers guy.
Yeah, like the David to Amazon Goliath. It was this guy, Mark Lore, and he had a chip on his shoulder because he was like, "I'm back, I'm back. You destroyed my diapers.com spaceship, and now I'm back with like jet.com." And anyway, I found that story really interesting, in large part because Mark was so compelling that he raised hundreds of millions of dollars for an e-commerce company to try and rival Amazon. I thought that was like the most amazing act of salesmanship I had ever heard. I was like, wow, this guy must like be the most convincing dude in the world.
Well, they all made money. It sounds like by the end of it, except Walmart.
I think that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's correct.
But I think it really underlies this issue of how can we possibly govern in the face of such super money if our regulators and our elected officials don't even understand
They're not even
what they're
aware.
looking at. Like their understanding of what's going on at a company like Amazon is so terrestrial. If they're in outer space, these guys are, on the ground.
Every week I go on
In the
Amazon
trench.
now, I find more and more creepy stuff. Like at first they just had a few like Amazon basic items. Now
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like every product that you look up, they already have an Amazon brand that
Yeah.
makes it.
It's amazing.
I don't know, it creeps me out every
Yeah,
time.
it's super weird. They have their own brand for literally
For everything.
things as minute as like a pen, a lighter, to as big as like
Well, any clothing thing you would look up.
like shopping products, everything. They have it.
They're a machine. So what they do is they have this marketplace, and then they have this giant data dashboard. They figure out as soon as like something's selling at a certain level,
Right.
they're like,
They go and
you
make
know,
it.
let's just- they go and make it. And so you have these horror stories of this company being like, I sold on Amazon. I was happy until
Yeah.
one day, like, their competitor came and I couldn't get into the search listings, and now I am dead. And like they're this giant money machine that just comes in, and like it's a combination of like endless resources and endless access to us and our needs, and then endless data. There is no real competition. There's something that has changed about capitalism, and the problem is that we pretend it's still like the 70s and 80s, like that there is like a genuine market between firms when you have these companies that have just reached unprecedented scale, size, resources, and it's being facilitated by this new version of the markets where there are certain companies that just everyone's going to pile into because they're absorbing more and more of the economy. It's like you look up and just, you ask anyone, it's like, like Amazon, Apple, Facebook, Google would be the big ones where you just look up and be like, hey, if you close your eyes and open them 10 years from now, like, do you think those companies will still be kicking ass and dominating? Like the answer is yes, unless the government were to change something for one of those companies. And you're starting to see glimmers of that possibility because people are starting to recognize some of the extremes. I may be part of this conversation moving forward too.
Jeff Bezos just found his worst enemy.
It's
Jeff
not
Bezos.
Mark Lore, Jeff.
You've been looking in the wrong place.
You've been looking the wrong way.
Okay, in closing, I want to ask you one final question. You have endorsed Joe Biden. Tell me, why do you think Joe Biden will make a better president than Donald Trump?
Joe Biden would make a better president than Donald Trump on many, many levels. But the things I love about Joe, number one, he's actually a good dude who cares about people and like wants to do right by people. Number two is he's really not very ideological. He's more of like a pragmatist, where he's like, what are we going to do? And as part of his pragmatism, he's a consensus seeker. He tries to figure out what the folks around him think is the right approach. And he's not going to be someone being like, no, screw you. Like, I'm sure of like the way to go, and it's not what you're saying. Like, he'll actually be like, well, if people think that this is the way to go. Like I'm into it. And then the third thing is something I said at the convention, which is that Joe has this quality where anything he says becomes the new reasonable. Like he came out with a $2 trillion green energy proposal that could have been straight out of the Bernier AOC like playbook. And if one of them had said it, people would have been like, oh, like, you know, aggressive, pie in the sky. But then Joe says it, and everyone's like, yeah, that's cool. that you
funny.
can that if Joe gets on board with something or champions it, then all of a sudden it becomes the new mainstream. And so you have to ask yourself, it's like, okay, maybe I disagree with Joe on some stuff, but it's like, what's my preferred path? Trying to convince Joe that this is a good idea, or trying to convince Donald Trump that he should, you know, like adopt a completely different approach to governance. And yeah, I mean, that to me is a no-brainer.
Andrew Yang, future Secretary of Technology and Innovation. Love the sound of that.
Potentially, and if that happened, I certainly have you two and a lot of other people to thank. But the big thing right now is just for us to help each other, try and get through this mess, and you know, stay strong and healthy ourselves. Because you can't help anyone if you can't, you know, like help yourself. But then if you do have the capacity to help others, please do lend someone a hand, because like someone in your life needs a hand.
Can we count on an interview from Washington, D.C. a year from now?
Yeah, I mean, heck, definitely. Like, if I'm the Secretary of Technology and Innovation, then we'll have so much to talk about. And then,
I agree. That's gonna be awesome.
I'll even end up being like one of these types, being like, "Hey, send me ideas, citizens, because I am now your." You know?
And Andrew, if there are UFOs, will you tell us? Will you have access?
If I find out there are UFOs, I will tell people, because we all know they're there already.
Okay, Andrew, let me ask you this. If someone's like, okay, Andrew, we're gonna tell you the UFOs and the aliens and all this crazy shit exists, but you can't tell anyone. Do you tell us?
Depends on who it is, really. I mean, you know, if it's someone I can be like, sorry, man, like I just had to tell people that it'd be.
People always say that, but there's no way you would actually be able to tell us. Don't you see the problem?
I do see the problem. If they bring me into the circle of UFO trust, then it's hard to run outside of the circle and tell Ethan and Gila.
Just before you die, just get the truth out there.
Twice.
Yeah, blink twice on your deathbed.
That done deal, deathbed, UFO confession,
Yes.
Andrew Yang.
There we go. All right. Andrew, it's been a pleasure as always. I wish you lots of luck and success. I'm enjoying following everything. You're doing fantastic. And I'm along with the Yang Gang all the way. So good luck.
Thank you both so much.
And we're right there with you.
Thank you both for everything you do. And, you know, I hope the little guy is doing great.
Yeah, he is. He's doing awesome.
He is.
Yeah, he is. Thank you. And your kids too. I mean, now you're at home. You're spending time with the family. That's fantastic. I know it was hard on you during the campaign.
Yeah, you can understand why, as parents, it was the hardest thing about running. But I'm happy to say, you know, yeah, they remembered who Daddy was.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And now I'm underfoot all the time when I'm not, you know, zooming.
All right, Andrew, take care.
All right.
Thanks, guys, so much.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, talk
See you
soon.
soon.
Yep,
Hopefully.
bye.
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 Hello and welcome back to the Misfits podcast, rated 5 stars on iTunes by BananaFace123358268. He says, hello and welcome back to the Misfits podcast, rated 5 stars on iTunes by Con Corby 15. He says, why did the sperm cross the road? Because I put on the wrong sock this morning.
That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. It's pretty fucking.
Got a little crunch in the stomach.
Like a cum sock.
Nice.
Like a semen sock.
And that's the one. That is the one. I'm joined today by my
Sock with
co-host
cum in it.
Swagger. That's right, Toby. Yeah. Joined today by my co-host Toby on the tally.
Yeah, g'day, mate.
Swagger Souls.
Yeah, how you going?
And Matthew Praise be.
Yeah. How's it fucking going, mate? Yeah.
All right. Well, it was a little unexpected.
Never been more
Matt.
attracted to Matthew in my life.
I didn't expect you to be
Use my full
swearing.
name. Ugh.
I did not expect you to be swearing
Is
on
it-
the show, but here we are.
Isn't there like an Instagram called like female Notorious
Oh
or
god,
something?
we're bringing that up already. Shit, boys.
Yeah, where it's
Don't
like,
give it
it's
any
just
more
like
followers.
It's like
Yeah, there
pictures of
is.
Matt, except like it looks
He's
like
a
a hot
woman.
girl.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
name of it? Oh,
Hot
shit.
I
take.
think it's like Fematorious or something.
Hot
Oh,
take.
man.
Oh yeah,
Not that-
Femi
not that good
Notorious.
looking.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
No.
think the same. I don't think that I'm not that attracted
Toby,
to
what the
femme
fuck you saying?
Notorious.
Bullshit. You're saying in the DMs I was hot as fuck as a chick. Get the fuck out of here.
I think
Yeah, but you
Matt
always
is
gas
more
up the
attractive than
homies.
Femme Matt.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Matt's well, are we really
Matt
going to
has
talk
the
about
man's
this?
on
Matt looks like he's in a cult, bro. He's got a black turtleneck on.
He
and
looks like he's
I
about
just-
to give an Apple
buying Apple,
presentation.
bro. I'm on the
and,
Apple
and your
game.
head is always
Yeah.
like
The
bowed in
turtleneck.
prayer. Like it always looks like you're kind of muttering a silent prayer to yourself.
Oh no,
No,
that's
what are
just
you praying
constant
for?
exhaustion. Just trying
I'm
not
praying
to fall
for that
asleep.
new Misfits merch, bro.
Why are you always so tired, man? What do you think is like the root cause for your tiredness?
Because
'Cause
I
he
deal
quit
with
coffee.
you all. We all up to
Ever
like
since
1
Matt
or
quit
3 a.m. every
caffeine-
weekend.
Ever since Matt quit caffeine, he has not been going to bed at fucking 11. He's practically nodding off by 9. Matt,
Yeah,
it's
I'm a
time
good little
to
boy.
start hitting the
Being a
coffees
good,
again.
healthy little boy during
I
lockdown.
miss-
I feel
It's
great.
time to start hitting the cock
You
again.
You feel great, but you're exhausted. You're exhausted. All you eat is just raw minerals. That's all you eat.
They're not rock. I mean, shit. Yeah,
They're
no,
not
they're
rocks,
minerals.
Karen. They're minerals.
You know,
Just like
all you
chewing
do,
slate.
you just
Ugh.
drink
Like
like
eating
those,
chalk.
It's
those
lick
like
the
juices
salt lamp.
with like multivitamins in them and raw minerals. You
Yo,
just lick
can you
powder
imagine
off your
if you
kitchen bench.
Can you imagine a restaurant that was like so hipster? They have like a salt lamp in the middle of the table, and whenever you wanted to like salt your food, you just had to lean forward and lick the lamp. But it was like shared between the whole table.
The fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, what the hell?
I don't know. I've
That
been
would
asking
not be
myself that for
COVID
years.
friendly, bro. That would not be COVID friendly.
No, you can't
You
be
think,
licking
they
salt
give you like a
lamps.
little hammer and chisel to like chisel off your salt that you want from a big rock? That could be trendy and cool. But I don't know
I'm
about
pretty sure
fucking
there-
sticking your tongue on it.
I think there are
That'd be
places
pretty
that
funny.
do that thing where you have like rock, and actually it's more
Yeah.
like a grater thing. Like it's
Yeah.
you just grate the rock salt onto your food.
That's
for
like
that
yeah.
nice
my sister
salty
thing now
taste.
is like you go to the restaurant and you pay them to do the shit yourself. You know, like
Matt,
they,
you can't
now
be
it's like
criticizing
cooking the
anyone-
food yourself.
You got a
Being a
top knot and a
hipster.
turtleneck.
With a top knot and a turtle head.
True,
Okay, you just can't be,
true.
you have to be like, dude, the fucking hipsters.
Bro, I need my craft beer. That's what I need right now. I need a craft beer.
Get your craft beer, and you need what else do the hipsters do?
What's a hipster shit?
Lensless
I need?
glasses.
The man
Um,
buns, beanies,
Yeah, maybe some
fake
beanies.
Oh,
glasses.
Toby's got the beanie.
Maybe just carry a book with you everywhere.
Yeah,
Player-
Um,
player reader
go
glasses.
to a coffee shop to not actually buy a
Facial
coffee or
hair.
a donut and just sit there and
Just to
with
sit
your
there and a
MacBook,
vibe there.
write
Yeah, just
poetry.
your apartment is just minimalist as hell. Oh wait, you do have that.
Get fired, man.
Yeah.
At least mine is decorated, mate. Still haven't seen your place
True.
yet.
What do you
Describe
mean?
Describe yourself as a foodie on Tinder.
The fuck's a
That
foodie?
you're someone who's like
foodie.
really, really into food.
No,
Like,
foodies don't
gourmet.
call themselves
Hungry.
foodie. They just use like food emojis.
All
It's like
right.
someone that likes traveling just puts a plane in their fucking
Oh, is
Tinder
that where you
bio.
put
Yeah.
all
Like,
these
"Oh, you
fucking
must like
emoji-
traveling.
Is that where
Yeah,
they
I-
put all the fucking emojis in the bio and you're supposed to sit there and guess what the fuck they're
Yeah.
saying? Like they're talking in hieroglyphs. See, airplane, food, hamburger, and all these things. You're like, what the fuck are they saying?
What they're saying
it's-
is that they're not worth your time.
I was messaging
True,
this girl
true.
with a bunch of eggplants in her emoji in her bio, thinking, like, oh yeah, she's like a hardcore foodie, like super keen. to
Yeah.
get to know this girl.
Vegetarian.
Turns out she was just really, really sexual, and I was
Craving
like,
dick.
yeah,
So
like,
hard to
I
find
was
a
like
proper
trying to
foodie
talk
out
about
there.
like salad. She was just talking about like cum and
Yeah.
shit. I was like, dude, get the fuck. Had to delete that person from my
Hey,
contacts.
speaking of cum,
yeah,
a basketball player that's like really, really good at their game, right? They're called an all-star, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay, and you know, like
Where's this
someone
going?
that's like been in heaps of movies and is really well known as a movie star, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why do you only have to be in one porn to be a porn star?
because porn gets views like nothing, like nothing.
I guess
else in
that's
the world.
fair.
You can
Yeah, it's a
upload one
performance,
amateur
it's
video
art.
of you slamming your ass on a suction cup dildo, and it will get 40 million views. You're a porn star, you know. Like
Yeah,
it's
that's
low
fair.
effort, but it gets the job done. And like at the end of the day, it's one of the most raw and necessary forms of human entertainment.
Can you
Thank God
imagine
for
that?
Like,
out there
like a
doing it.
Fortnite video.
Like not
Um,
quite swagger, but you know, that's a good thought.
One's for kids.
Raw footage and it's entertaining.
Yeah, but you can't be a Fortnite star unless you are. In which case, like, good for you. Like, keep living your life. But you could easily make as much money slamming your ass on a suction cup dildo at 3 a.m. while your
I don't
parents
know if I'd say easily.
Well,
Probably not easily.
You could do
Depends
that.
on the size.
You have to
You
get the
don't even need to
tags
show your
right.
face doing that either. You could do both. You could do that as like your night job, you know?
Really?
True, true.
Wait.
Yeah, just not
Yeah,
show your
you don't
face.
have
You
to
just
see-
lay
you
your
don't have to
ass
show
on the
your face,
dildo,
fine.
so just keep your face cropped out, and you're
yeah, but it
good.
won't do as well.
Matt
It won't do as
knows.
well.
Yeah, I
Matt
can't
knows
watch
who's-
that shit.
People like a person in their porn. They don't
Yeah, I
want
need to see
a
a
hitless
face.
I
woman.
don't give a fuck. I don't
So
at
you're
all.
not
really?
You
And
skip
you don't
past
want
like the
people.
build up of like
Yeah.
the guy coming to like fix the leaky faucet or whatever, right? You
Oh,
skip
dude,
past
fuck
that bullshit.
dude. Like,
No,
what
no,
am I
it's
anybody watch
important.
that? The shitty
Yeah,
small
exactly.
talk?
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's right. You don't
What?
need that
You
shit.
guys are approaching this all wrong. You're completely throwing in the trash.
You sound like a
art
hipster
of
when it
porn.
comes to porn outfits. That's what I think it is.
Ain't nothing hip about it, man. I'm a loser. But listen, if you're not watching the build-up, you're not getting the whole experience. All right, I don't care how bad the acting is or how cringe the dialogue, the writing, you know, whatever. If you're not watching the build-up, then all you have is the up. And
I
the
feel
up
like
is not
that
as
would-
much fun
I
if you
feel-
don't build it.
Well, that's the best
I
part.
feel like the build-up makes it better though. Like
It
the end product.
Absolutely, you form a relationship with this porn.
Yeah.
No, like,
And
I don't
so
have
does
the
your
time.
dick.
that makes the
I
that makes
don't
the
have
post
the
depressive
time to
not that much
watch.
better, you know?
Like, I don't have the time to watch like a 30-minute like start. Like, I have to have like a shit ton of stuff, open at different tabs and think of like what's the one, and then just go from there. But it's never like, you know, whenever it's like a time sensitive wank. Like I need
Like,
it
I'm
10
horny
minutes or
now.
less.
Skip
It's
that
like
shit.
it's like 10 minutes or less. Like I don't have the fucking time to fuck around for 2 hours trying to find the perfect fucking story.
Okay, so hit me out here. This is why OnlyFans is epic. Because it doesn't have the weird story. It doesn't have any of this shit. But what it does have is one person and thousands of photos of that person and videos of that person. So you build a relationship as you're going through it with, well, not a relationship, but like you build this thing
That's what a lot of
with
them
that
think.
person.
You print out every photo, put it on your wall. You
And
stare
it's
at
like-
it every morning.
It's like having that story build up until you find the like thing that you know, want to end on.
Right.
Toby, that
I
is-
don't pay for porn.
Oh, really?
There's too much free
Yeah.
porn. Who percentage wise, how many people pay for porn? That's what I want to know.
I have
like, there's
paid for
so much
porn
out there
like
for
maybe
free. I don't
2
understand.
times. Only 2 times. It's
You
just
paid
like
for
I
porn
find a
twice?
clip for free on the internet. I'm like, where the fuck is the full video? I do my research. Turns out it's behind a fucking paywall.
I'm
then I
subscribed
go
to
back
Tana
and
Mojo's
forth.
OnlyFans.
What?
It's
You know,
shit.
There's so much free shit out there. I don't understand. There's like
Bush.
billions of views worth.
Before the podcast began, we were all wondering what the hell we were going to talk about this week. We're all thinking like, man, we should really have come up with something good. Got no stories. Fucking world's in lockdown. Can't talk about that. No one wants to hear about coronavirus. As soon as the podcast begins, we're immediately talking about cum and porn. Is this all we are? Is this all we are, my friends?
Well, I just wanted to know why a porn star becomes a porn star after one porn.
Yeah, I think we're just asking the
Well-
right questions everyone wants the answers to, you
All
know?
stars have to work to get where they are.
No, Toby, you're wrong. All stars don't need to work. They just have to shine. And in my opinion,
Hey
no
now,
star shines brighter than that of the porn
Fitz,
variety.
you're an all-star.
What?
Get
I
your
don't even
game
do
on.
Porn. What am I starring? What am I starring in, dude? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
I'm not really
something
good at
cool.
anything. Like, I'm just a guy with a podcast now, basically. Like, I don't know. What am I
Okay.
good at? Good at wearing hats.
You're good
uh,
at making
got
other
a
people
haircut.
funnier.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I
I
don't know.
think-
Matt's been here for like 100 episodes.
I think. Whoa. I genuinely think.
like 50 of my
I'm,
jokes.
I'm sorry. I just had to. You know, we're starting beef on the podcast.
Oh, fuck.
Me,
I don't know,
me
I-
versus
I-
Matt.
I genuinely think in like the original recording sessions, remember back when you didn't put yourself in as much as other people? Like at the very beginning?
Oh wow, you're
rec-
gonna compliment me right now.
No, I'm not saying
oh,
that.
Oh no! Oh no!
What? I'm
Go
just
on,
saying
go on,
that
please, don't stop.
I always thought you were really good at making other people, like building, guiding people into funny moments, you know, like making other people funny and putting them in funny situations and stuff.
This episode is brought to you by Hawthorne, a premium men's grooming brand that offers high-quality, tailored cologne. Just take a quick quiz and they'll tailor 2 fragrances for you. Check out Hawthorne at hawthorne.co. That's Hawthorne with an E. And use the code GAMES to get 10% off your first purchase. That's HAWTHORNE.co. And use the code GAMES to get 10% off your purchase. Hawthorne.co.
This episode is brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Life isn't a video game. There's no respawning, and driving drunk is a surefire path to game over. People could get hurt or killed. So if you think drunk driving isn't a big deal, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over.
Yes, come with me. I will show you the way to the funny. It's me. It's me when I record.
But I think that's why you did really well on YouTube at the start.
Yeah,
Now you're fucking nobody.
Well, yeah, because I haven't done anything. You know?
Yeah.
At least I'm not a nobody because, like, I don't know.
Just don't upload.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Are you? Have you been working on anything recently?
Yeah, I mean, we've been recording some VR. I just cut up all that footage today. Actually, it's pretty funny.
Fuck yeah.
But you know, I'm not really too worried. To be honest with you.
Yeah, Fitz is very wealthy. He doesn't give a fuck.
I'm not too worried, and I also just don't think that I care enough about the attention to really care. You know, like I don't really get off on it that much. You know, I'm just kind of chilling. So I don't know. I'll come out with something soon enough. We'll see what happens. Just fuck around with it. Yeah. That's kind of where I'm at.
Has anybody else been having issues with motivation as a result of having to be inside again? Because I've been so fucked. I haven't been able to like edit. Like recording has been a chore. Like except for that Pavlov session we did. Like I was like the only good one. But the rest of it, I just like wake up and I just don't want to do anything.
I've also gotten more done in
nothing at
lockdown
all.
than before, to be honest.
Yeah. Nah, COVID's brutal. COVID is absolutely brutal. And I'm sure that, you know, most of the listeners can relate, if not everyone. It's kind of fucking takes the wind out of your sails when you can't live normally, doesn't it? But
yeah.
I
I just miss like, I don't know, going out for ramen. Really, that's the only thing I miss.
I really just miss the ramen places.
Dude. It was so
Dude,
fucking
You know, you
good.
can get Uber Eats, you know?
No, but
Yeah,
ramen's
dude,
one of those
it's not
things
the
you just
fucking
can't get
same.
delivered. Every time ramen's
Ramen-
delivered, the noodle's stale, the egg ain't
Make it
good.
at home. Boil a pot of water, put the noodles in, and there you go. Crack an egg.
Matt, I ain't no master chef, all right? I ain't no master chef.
Bro,
Yeah,
you
Hello
can't make
Fresh
ramen.
doesn't have
You
ramen.
can't make anything.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm ramen
Dude,
out of
cooking's been
ideas.
so good. That's one thing I've gotten into recently is like properly like cooking every meal, like during lockdown. It's actually so, like I used to be able to like not cook anything, like even like once a week, but now I like cook every meal. And it's like I just feel so rewarding, like looking at it and be like, yeah, I made that. That kind of
You
shit.
post it on
Cooking
Instagram.
does feel good, doesn't it?
Post your finished products or make a cooking show. I was thinking about doing one of those.
Oh yeah.
Really? Oh, Asparagus Soul's cooking show would be great because I just
Yeah,
know
dude,
you'd
I'm
add
gonna-
a level of zaniness to it that
I'm
no
gonna
one
call
else
it
would.
soul food.
You've been talking to me about this for
I've
years.
been talking about this for like a year and a half, but I've never had a kitchen that has like a good set. Even
Yeah.
like
have
my
a
house.
massive kitchen. What do you mean?
Yeah, dude. If you look at my actual like kitchen from like the house tour video, like you could see like the island is like half of it is
Yeah,
up,
it's weird.
and then the other half is down. So like it's not good for like filming.
Bro,
'Cause
have you
usually-
seen my kitchen? You got an amazing kitchen. Fucking film that shit.
I am a firm believer that you're really that production quality when it comes to YouTube is actually one of like the least important things. That you could just wear a GoPro on your head and you can make an entertaining show. You know what I'm saying? Like
True.
fucking.
I don't know. Maybe the real barrier is my lack of motivation. Maybe it's just because I don't want to fucking do anything. Maybe I'm all
that's
burnt
right.
out.
Stop
you're
smoking
right.
weed, maybe.
No, I whenever I do that, I get extremely anxious and depressed, and then when I smoke weed, I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We
should
should look
take
into
a
that
break from
later.
I don't like this conversation. It's too real.
Hey, this is a real podcast.
Yeah,
no, I know, I
Real
know.
guys. And
Just
and
came out of
girl.
nowhere.
Yeah.
I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
I need to be teased into realness. Foreplay
Yeah.
first, you know?
It's like
Right.
a little. Like how do you tease someone into realness?
Yeah, how do
Toby?
you-
I don't
What's
know.
the technique?
How do you
Just
do
kinda
that?
like-
I think teasing someone into realness is when you bully them for years and then they break down and tell you the truth about their problems.
Mm.
Yeah, true friendship is always formed out of bullying someone, in my opinion. People, you know,
it's true.
Kids,
Fitz used to beat the shit out of me.
Oh, daily, on a daily basis. Just at school, just beating the shit out of you. Like, how do you like me now? How do you like me now? I would say every time I beat him. And then,
and then eventually I said, actually,
I do
quite a lot
like
now.
Yeah.
One time he got a detention for smacking a photo of the principal. It was a framed photo. He smashed it over my head, broke the glass, broke the paint picture.
It was a heavy frame.
Heavy frame. He got a detention. I just kind of laughed at it, but then I realized, you know, he was only bullying me. He wasn't bullying anyone else, and I thought, why is that happening? And I realized it was because there was something that he liked about me, something that he wanted to get to know about me. And that's when I realized you bully the people that you love most.
That's right. And I think everyone should do the same, honestly, because it's just a great idea.
Yeah.
It's not a bad one.
Nothing bad about it.
Nothing bad about it. You know, if this is a girl at school you like, just tease her. Yeah. You know, in my opinion.
Pull her hair. Ask her if she's on her period when she's in a bad mood.
Point at her, embarrass her, make her feel like she's nothing. And then only when she's reached a point of just complete like self-worthlessness, then that's when you that's when, you know what, this is just awful.
This is fucked up. Isn't that called negging?
Welcome to r/nice guys.
Yeah, that is called negging.
Is that like literal a thing? Like
yes, that is a real thing. That's something that most people grow out of by the time they're like 8 years old and they're out of the elementary school playground. But unfortunately, some people believe is a genuine form of, I don't know. You know.
I see that shit all over the place on Discord, on Twitter.
Yeah,
some big people will fucking nag like female creators, and I'll just be like, bruh.
Yeah, I mean, there's negging, and then there's like flirting, and I think a lot of guys when they're negging, they're just like trying to flirt, and they don't know how, so they just come across as you know, unaware jerks. But like a lot of flirting is like, you know, kind of teasing, kind of like, you know, being playful, shit like that. Yeah. But it's always got to be playful. Like it's never like genuine,
that's
like,
the thing.
yeah,
It's
you
a lot
look
easier
unattractive today. Like, you know, what?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to do that like in person because there's body language that like coincides with it. It's not just text.
Yeah.
It doesn't have context to it, you know?
Yeah.
And you can
Unless you use a
physically
lot of
bully them
emojis.
too.
If with the right
True,
emoji
Matt.
combination, there's context for anything. Swagger souls. You know.
True.
What's your favorite emoji?
Eggplant.
Favorite
Damn,
emoji.
you answered that before you even asked the question. Shit.
Eggplant is Swagger's favorite emoji.
I like the
favorite
monkey.
emoji.
I like the monkey.
Okay,
Which one?
if you
Like the one that's like this?
No, I just like the monkey, like
the sideways monkey.
Oh,
Sideways
that
monkey.
one. Yeah.
I'm gonna look at my emojis and see what my most used one is.
Yeah, how
I'm
do
gonna
you
look
do
through the
that?
same. I guarantee you, my most used emoji is gonna be the sunglasses.
My most used is the like lips one, and then underneath
Really?
it's the kiss love heart one, and then underneath that is the love heart eyes, and then underneath that is the like, oh my god, I'm surrounded by hearts, and then underneath that is is the red face with the sweat and the tongue out.
What's your favorite
I like really lovey-dovey, and then just the sex one.
Wow, that's a great
What
insight
the
into the
fuck?
kind of messages that Toby's sending. Yeah, my number one is the sunglasses emoji, which I use all the time.
I can see that.
I like the
Ironically,
classic
my number
hand
one
emoji.
is the heart. I have the heart as my first. Then I have fire.
Wow.
And then I have the shaka bra. Then I have the monkey.
Yeah, I believe that.
Then I have the kiss, like the lip one. I have the 100. And then I have
Stonks.
I have the two little hearts.
Okay. Do we have to?
And then I have the crying laughing emoji.
Yeah.
Okay,
Should we go through the
I'm
entire
curious
list,
about
or-
Matt's.
Mine's the crying laughing emoji.
Okay.
Then just the actual crying emoji.
Do you guys actually use, do you guys use
Jesus.
the crying laughing emoji unironically? Like, would you
No,
actually?
I'm a
use it
strong
ironically,
user of
purely
haha.
ironically.
I use it ironically. I mean, unironically.
It's like it's one of
Really?
those things you start using it so much ironically, it's just become a force of habit now, you know.
True. Like there's a lot of times where it's definitely.
Like
I don't
fuck,
know.
you just can't stop using
I
it.
use like the actual crying face a lot of the time when something funny is happening, like OMG, I can't, and then fucking actual
Literally
real cry.
can't even cry.
Yeah. You guys.
Okay,
You're such
I have a
zoomers.
hypothetical for you. You're in a relationship, and
Right.
It was a big hypothetical.
What do you call your significant other than their name? Are you guys people that would say like babe and baby and that sort of stuff?
Yeah, sure.
Baby for sure. I wouldn't say
I'd go
babe,
for hun.
babe occasionally. You're a hun guy? Ooh.
Yeah, hey hun.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's easier than honey.
Some people don't like babe. Some people don't like baby, but most people do. I've found. But the people that don't like it hate it. The people that don't like it are like, ooh, it's gross.
Yeah. I didn't get that. I'm definitely a baby guy for sure.
How about kitten?
No.
That's what Pies
Surely
calls me.
kitten.
No, that's too boomer for me.
Jesus, that's true love.
Kitten, sweetheart.
Hey, how you doing, pussycat? How you doing?
Like,
Oh, kitten's just creepy though. Isn't it
Kitten's
only
really
used
fucking
like,
creepy.
oh, hello, kitten?
yeah, kitten
Yeah,
just gives me like
exactly.
old creepy vibes.
Yeah.
Swagger's like panicking because he actually says kitten.
Fuck no. Fuck no.
No, he's just talking
Well,
about
you've
his
got
actual
it,
cat.
Yeah, I actually am a little kitten.
How is your cat, Swagger?
Very good. She's chilling. She's getting used to me. She's getting used to the house. She's running up and down the stairs. She has zoomies. She goes under the couch.
Does she listen to the podcast?
I have no idea. Probably, I should ask her. I should really ask her because maybe she'd fuck with it.
Well, we hope everyone at home has been listening to the podcast on Spotify because we released last week a exclusive episode where we all debated a bunch of topics.
Oh, so fun.
Yeah, it was fun actually. It was a bit of a ride of an episode. If you want to listen to that,
That could have
it's
been
on
like a regular
Spotify.
podcast. You should surely go listen.
Yeah, it could have.
was
Yeah.
really good.
Spotify. It's called Master Debaters. A
Yeah, we all
Spotify
debated
exclusive.
ourselves. We split up
We
into
all master
teams. And then
debated
we
each
had,
other.
We had a bunch of topics, and then we just went back and forth. Some people were for, some were against, and we had judges. It was very entertaining.
I had, for instance, I had to make Swagger debate about why weed shouldn't be legal. That was pretty
And
fun.
I had a very compelling argument.
No,
a
you
very
did
compelling
not.
argument. Yes,
No,
I
you
did.
not. You went with
Sure I
you went.
did.
Yeah, I don't know. Find out by listening to the episode, guys.
Yeah.
And just while we're on the plug train, Scuffed, our clothing line, has released the Scuffed Engineering hoodies in green, chalkboard green, or blueprint blue. I don't even know if that's what they're officially called, but that's what I'm calling them.
For anyone that has watched the previous vlogs, the bong vlog, you'll know what is on the hoodie
the
there.
420 video.
They're really cool, and they're like a fun way to add some color to your wardrobe because so many people just wear like black and white and sort of like earthy tones, but like these are like some really nice, vibrant greens and blues. I think they're really cool.
Yeah, they look good on anyone.
Yeah.
I'm someone who doesn't wear a lot of color, but they look
go
sick
with
on me, I
black.
reckon. Yeah, they go with
They
everything.
do.
So yeah, Scuff.store, you know how to get them. Cool.
What if you guys had to make a Tinder bio right now? What would you put in it?
4 eggplant emojis and the sweating hot face with the tongue out. And then just
same.
like
I just put a
looking for
link to my Twitch saying I'm probably live.
Just a big advertisement.
Yeah, no, I mean it's the best way to get to know me.
Yeah, it's like literally
I
I
mean,
can
how
like
many
watch you for 10
chicks put their
minutes.
fucking instas in their bios? You're not really too far off the mark there, boy. Yeah, okay, I'm doing it to mine. If I'm
Twitch
not
hype
uploading,
train.
I'm getting some word out that I'm uploading to YouTube, bro.
Just instantly see a huge boost in viewership.
I got
It actually brings in like thousands of female viewers. Your viewers are like 98% women now. And they're all just horny
They're all
as
just
fuck.
really horny. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll just think it's like some cam girl shit, and they're like, "When do you get
Yeah,
naked?"
with your stream overlay, they probably will think that shit, mate. You got like the Toby Hub shit or whatever.
Dude, are there actually like cam guys? It's always about cam girls, but are there actually guys that just like sit on like a campsite and just like beat their dick 9 hours a day?
And to think there's
I'm
people
sure
that do it
there
on Omegle for free. Like, what the fuck? Fucking capitalize on that shit, yo.
You got a penis? You should be working right now.
Yeah, goddamn.
Go live. Beat the shit out of that sucker. I don't know. I mean, it's obviously not as popular a market as the female OnlyFans, but there's got to be like men too. You got to remember that there's gay dudes out there looking for guys to stroke.
Yeah, that is probably where most of the market would be.
Mm-hmm.
Although women often need like a little more like connection or like whatever to help with that sort of stuff. So maybe a cam boy would be like the best place for a woman to go because they're like they can develop this connection with the person as well as
Maybe you're right.
get that.
Yeah. You know what? I'm looking it up right now. I'm gonna
Cam
boy.
You know how you guys got drugged in a Polish strip club?
That was
Yeah,
lit.
that's a throwback.
Best nights of my life.
Well, I was in the car with my sister the other day, going for a cruise, and she goes, "Oh yeah, did I tell you I got roofied?" And I was like, "No, you did not. You did not." And so last weekend, she was at a strip club, funnily enough, and she got drunk. Yeah, she said she felt like paralyzed, like she just couldn't move, and she was just sat there in the strip club, not able to move. It sounds fucking terrifying.
That does sound terrifying.
Yeah.
Wait, are like you aware of it? Like you're like, oh
yeah,
fuck,
she knew what was happening, but she just had no control over anything.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
scary.
That's always been the terrifying thing about roofies. Is like you don't just fall asleep; you're actually just locked in position, like you can't move. So yeah, I mean, Jesus. Did she have any idea like who did it? Was anyone acting creepy at the strip? Like, why was she at a strip club first of all, just for fun?
Just for
like,
fun with her friends.
Yeah,
yeah.
And there was some.
Luckily, she was with her friends, obviously, because they like obviously didn't let her go away with anyone. But yeah, fucking scary.
They didn't see anyone like dodgy at the bar.
No,
I'm curious.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
that's terrifying.
They probably don't have cameras in there either. They probably don't have security cameras.
They probably do.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Holy shit.
You know,
they probably have to actually.
Maybe.
Because like, what if someone starts a fight in the strip club? You know.
True.
Yeah.
Damn,
that's wild. Fuck. Watch your drinks, everyone. Not that anyone's gonna be late. Unless you're from New Zealand, not they can be out at strip clubs probably.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen those straws that it can detect date rape drugs if you put them into your drink? Like the straw will turn a different color if it's drugged.
I saw that for like fingernail polish too, so you can just like stick your finger in the drink.
Fingernail polish too as well.
That's very interesting.
But yeah, it's really fucking cool idea.
Are they chunky straws or what?
I got no idea. I've heard of them. It was like a year ago. They were like being made.
Man,
Dude,
it's so fucked up that that's an industry.
Yeah,
the anti-date rape industry.
Drugged. You know, I mean, the only other alternative is like always have your cup in your hand, or like if you put your drink down and go to the bathroom and come back, just fucking get another cup.
Yeah,
get another drink. You know, like that's the unfortunate reality in some clubs and some social gatherings.
And the worst.
What are you doing? Yeah.
What
are you doing, Cam? Is that a tape measure that you're?
He's measuring his cock, swagger.
I'm almost done. Just extended it. Oh my god, it's so high. I'm just extending this tape measure right up into the air. It's gonna touch the ceiling in a second.
Snap down all the way.
Ta-da.
That just reminds me of being a kid. That's the sort of shit. You see a tape
every
measure?
time.
Yeah.
Every time you have a tape measure, you gotta extend it fully until it snaps. Wait, you ready for this? This is gonna be scary.
Oh wait, it's your.
Hit me on the hat.
Oh my god.
Okay,
it's enough
if
of
you
that.
guys
Sorry, audio listeners.
got into a position where you had unlimited money, right? What is the first thing you go out and buy? Not the most expensive, not the whatever. What is the thing that you're like, all right, I've got this money straight away. I really want to get this right now. What's the first thing? 3 more wishes.
An accountant, probably.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Not definitely accountant.
I hate you guys.
Maybe
stocks.
Maybe an island, like a private island.
Roth IRA, 401k.
Probably just a fuck off house in a great location with like great projections on it. Value wise, it's probably honestly what I'd do.
But it doesn't matter value wise if you have all the money in the world.
I'd buy a tank. I'd buy a tank?
That's the answers we're looking for.
Yeah, sure I would. Sure I'd buy a tank.
That's
Those
fun.
are road legal. That's funny as. I can't believe that shit.
Fucking drive it on the road. No one can run me off.
Yeah, they're road legal in the U.S. if you do the right shit for them.
I could imagine Swagger buying a tank.
It'd be pretty sick, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe a horse too.
Yeah.
So you can reenact World War I and
I'll have a horse-drawn tank.
I feel like compensate for where you need a horse-drawn tank.
I have unlimited money. I can do whatever the fuck I want.
I feel like people that own tanks are compensating for something.
Yeah.
Well, no, they're not. They don't have to worry about shit. They just go into the tank and then whatever.
What do you want it for? Just because it's cool?
That's like how small people get bullied in high school and then they get really, really muscly. Except a rich person version where they're like, I'm going to buy a tank.
I'm just going to buy a
shoot everyone that disagrees
armored vehicle.
Dude, all I'm saying is that, like, you wouldn't have to worry about anyone fucking getting mad at you on the road. You have to worry about road rage.
Yeah, but you would
people honk at you. If someone honks at you because you're going too slow in your tank, you just turn the turret around and then they'll fucking stop.
Yeah,
it seems like the ideal vehicle.
Yeah, except you go painfully slow.
Nah, tanks can fucking go so quick, dude. They go like over 100 kms.
100 kms.
Yeah, but try stopping going
probably
that
quicker.
fast though. That's the thing.
You can stop pretty quick.
Bang.
I guess it depends on the tank and whether or not it's using like 12 tires or if it's using a track. If it's using tread, it'll probably go a bit slower. But there's
I'm
fucking
thinking
tanks
tread.
that are just like giant armored vehicles that have like just giant tires.
Bro, that's just a pickup in America. What are you talking about?
A pickup.
Have you
These
guys
fucking
played
big-ass things there.
Flight Sim, the new Flight Sim
Well,
game?
hang on just one second, Toby, because you haven't told us what you'd buy if you were granted an extreme sum of cash. What would you buy? You've asked the question and yet you have no answer.
I'd buy a shop.
A shop. What kind of shop?
Like,
what'd you sell?
A clothing store, but a clothing
Like a
store
brand?
that no, not a brand. It would be like a capsule, like the Toby on the Telly capsule, where I just stock shit that I'm like, this is sick. I want this, and then I'd have that in stock. So everything in there would be stuff that I liked, and then hopefully other people would like it too.
So it's more just like a public wardrobe for you. It's like, look at my
no,
clothes.
I
you can
wouldn't.
buy
I
it if
wouldn't
you
wear the
want.
clothes. If I was as rich as possible, I wouldn't need to. But I just think it would be fun to have a store filled with stuff that you liked, because then it would be easier to sell. You know, because you'd be passionate about it. I love this piece.
You could call it Toby's Closet.
Yeah,
because it's literally just fucking the clothes that you love, except you can purchase them for yourself, and you haven't worn them yet. Ideally, I mean, or maybe ideally, depending on exactly what type of customer you are.
There's one entry
Good
door
point.
and no ways out. Can't leave the closet. Can't come out of the closet.
Once you enter, you can't leave. You
Can't
lock the
get
doors
out.
behind you.
I'd get a clothing store, and then what I'd do is with every clothes, I would just sew like drugs inside of it, like cocaine or something like that, where it'll stay for years. And then on the off chance a person gets pulled over and they have like a dog with them, the fucking cop dog starts going nuts, and they like rip open the clothes and they see the drugs. They're like, I swear that's not mine. I have no idea how that got there.
Wow,
They're not
that's
gonna believe
fucked
him.
up.
Can you imagine that?
I
though? Can you
mean,
imagine
it's
that,
only
though?
fucked up
That'd
if
be
they
funny
get caught.
as.
Otherwise, on the other hand, it's just good guy Matt giving everyone free drugs.
Yeah, true.
Like,
but
oh, dude,
they don't know
this
about
jacket came with an entire bag of cocaine in it.
Just give them free drugs without telling them. I don't see the
Just
problem.
sewn in.
I wouldn't get one free.
You talk. It's just like drug dogs roaming the street, just like sniffing people's clothes. They'll probably like not figure out this drug is in there until they put it in the wash, and then they're like, oh.
And then there's just
shit. Yeah, there goes the idea.
My washing machine's talking a lot. Just fucking, I don't know. I haven't played Microsoft Flight Simulator, Toby.
It's
but I saw you
really
playing
cool.
it on
Joystick,
I got a
right?
You can use it with a controller, but it's obviously more fun if you have a joystick and stuff. But like, I bought it and I was a bit hyped on it, and I was like, it's.
Hey guys, thank you guys for watching. It's like 3 o'clock. My clock somewhere over there. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. It's been an epic pogger experience. Baba Booey. Yeah. Anyways, thank you. I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna go and work on what the project we are working with Pippin, and yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and also turn on notifications, because that actually helps my channel, like, you know, a lot. You know, I don't. It just helps. You know, I get, you know, more viewers, more subscribers, and we can start seeing this channel pop off a little bit. You know, that'd be awesome. So, anyways, peace. Baba Booey. Yay. Yes. Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.